On a Sunday Night Showdown, the Chicago Bears, having already clinched the NFC North for the first time since 2018, coming off a thrilling rivalry over the Green Bay Packers in that win, faced the San Francisco 49ers, scoring points like they're going out in style. Both teams still in the fight for the top seed in the NFC, and all four play callers, Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen for the Bears, Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh for the 49ers, have earned their paychecks, making the most of their respective cards they've been dealt. Chicago leads the NFC North, having clinched it already, with the Packers losing to the Baltimore Ravens yesterday. While San Francisco still in the mix for the NFC West title, they have a division and record tiebreaker over the Seattle Seahawks. For that matter, if they were to win tonight to set up that battle, Seattle won earlier today against the Carolina Panthers. So if San Francisco wins, then most likely we'll see the division battle between these two next week. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. Welcome to Levi's Stadium, the site of Super Bowl 60. And despite the numerous injury scares plaguing the Niners, they're still one of the most complete teams in the league, with a very clear offensive identity based on pre-snap movement, heavy personnel, and creating mismatches in the short game. Their attack leads the NFL in yards after the catch, which is a direct indicator of the effectiveness of their scheme rather than the talent. Purdy threw for a career-high 5 touchdowns last week. And Brock Purdy, he is. Doesn't have the time to throw deep balls consistently, but his value lies in accuracy, quick reading, and the execution of the system. But when the offense is on, they can be a buzzsaw. Thomas Morstead has not punted since November, and it shows they have what it takes to get themselves in a favorable spot. The Bears, on the other hand, are energized after a thrilling victory over the Packers last week. They now have 11 wins, 6 of them coming after they drove the final 2 minutes of regulation. All year long, they've allowed themselves to put themselves into positions where they can show their resilience and propensity to make things harder than they need to be, but the fight for the top seed is still possible. Johnson's offense has been outstanding, especially when it allows for Caleb Williams to utilize his mobility as a primary weapon. The problem for them is consistency, as they're among the teams with the lowest offensive success rates, and their EPA per play is negative in most weeks. Even so, the ability to generate explosive plays with him out the pocket maintains a degree of unpredictability, but defensively, they have trouble containing attacks that utilize motion and play action, which are specialties of the 49ers. We go on to the keys of the game, beginning with the Chicago Bears. Given the lack of a pass rush from the 49ers, Caleb Williams should come into this game with a lot of confidence of what he could do with the potential time he'll have in the pocket. More than what the Niners lack on defense is all about the confidence of the Bears, who made a lot of big-time throws in the comeback against the Packers. As improbable as the comeback was, as the season has progressed, Caleb has shown more daring and breathtaking throws that haven't been seen often in recent history of quarterbacks. The talent is really starting to come alive and show itself, and with the potential significance of this game, it could serve as a big spotlight opportunity for him. The Niners' pass defense allows 230 yards per game, and he had a rough night against 44-year-old Phillip Rivers last week in their win over the Indianapolis Colts. The big detail for DJ Moore and Luther Burden III in this game is their ability to play all over the field and make plays in a variety of ways, whether it's a receiver or coming out of the backfield. The return of Burden is impactful for the Bears offense, as Rome Odunze is set to miss another game to a foot injury, and Olamide Zaccheaus is out of an illness too. Getting Burden back will be a massive boost for the offense. While he has to have his true breakout game, he and the rest of the wideouts should be fired up for this matchup, especially for Moore, who has played well without Odunze or Burden on the field. And for Dennis Allen's defensive schemes, he's going up against Christian McCaffrey, who is a nightmare matchup for an opponent's defense. Instead of specifically targeting an area of Chicago's defense to try to contain McCaffrey, this matchup will come down to his schematics. While the Bears give up 131 yards per game on the ground, they contained Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley earlier this season. McCaffrey's in the same company of the two, but he presents more danger as a dual-threat pass catcher out of the backfield. Allen's going to have his hands full, but he's shown to have good game plans against superstar running backs. By addition, this keys in on Tremaine Edmonds. In his first game in over a month, He played over 90% of his defensive stats to record his first fumble recovery of the season. Though he understandably did not appear to be back to full strength and or full speed, it was nice for Chicago to have him back. His task will be to cover McCaffrey in the passing game and track him down in the running game. With 92 catches and 849 yards and a career-high 7 receiving touchdowns on the year, in addition to his 1,000-plus yards and 9 touchdowns on the ground. How Edmonds fares this week will likely determine if Chicago wins this pivotal NFC matchup. Now on to the 49ers. Their offense has been on a tear in the last few weeks, having not punted since November, the last week of it, scoring 49 points last week and dropping 37 the week before. They've had a couple big games in the second half of the season, and the talk of the tape has been the running game, which has been much better as of late, with McCaffrey going for 170 yards against the Colts, while the passing game remains very efficient with Brock Purdy at the helm. He threw for a career-high 5 touchdowns last week against the Colts. The offensive line has improved through the weeks, and so have the receivers. If the Niners were to make a run at the playoffs, it's because of this offense. It's a good sign that the offense is getting more dangerous at the most important time of the year for San Francisco. But it also comes with next man up mentality, especially on defense, which has seen its fair share of ups and downs, even for the offense not skipping a beat. Indy's offense was able to move the ball in the air, and the Niners are going to be without Renardo Green in the secondary with a neck injury. In his absence, reserve corner Darrell Luter Jr. made his second start of the year, playing 100% of the defensive snaps at outside corner. He finished with 6 tackles and a pass breakup, seeing his ups and downs as he was targeted often. Against the run, he had 2 huge tackles that would have changed the entire game if he doesn't make those tackles. The corners were inconsistent while the safeties have also seen their ups and downs, but they have to be better down the stretch, and they could be tasked with some high leverage situations against the Bears team thriving on close games. Now for the turnovers. Chicago's defense has forced 31 turnovers this season, the most in the NFL. However, they're pedestrian-specific stat categories. They're ranked 18th against the pass, 25th against the run, and they're the 24th overall scoring defense. But the turnovers have been the great equalizer, and the driving force being interceptions, having recorded 21 in the NFL, the most in the league. Their defense has 3 players in the top 3 interceptions, with Kevin Byard having a league-leading 6. Nashawn Wright has added 5 for Chicago, and Tremaine Edmonds has added 4. So the Niners have a slight turnover problem this season, with the 13.2 turnover percentage, 5th highest, entering Week 16. Purdy does have 3 multi-interception games this season, but he's settled in recent weeks. On the other side, the Bears' offense has turned the ball over 10 times, the fewest in the league, with the offense making few mistakes. The driving force is Caleb Williams, whose 6 interceptions are tied for the second fewest for quarterbacks of at least 350 pass attempts entering this week. Forcing turnovers hasn't been the Niners' strength, having forced 16 turnovers, but only 6 of them have came via interception, which is 5th worst in the league. The good news, however, is that the majority of those turnovers have come in recent weeks. They have forced 9 turnovers in the last 5 games. Now let's go over to the starting lines, beginning with the visiting Chicago Bears. Under center is Caleb Williams. The running back is DeAndre Swift. The wide receivers are DJ Moore and Luther Burden III. Tight ends are Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland. The offensive line from left to right, Theo Benedette, Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, and Darnell Wright. Now on defense, it begins with Jervon Dexter Sr. and Grady Jarrett as the defensive tackles. The defensive ends are Montez Sweat and Austin Booker. The linebackers are TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. Outside corners are Tyreek Stevenson and Jawan Johnson. Slot corner is CJ Gardner-Johnson. And the safeties are Jaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard. Now the special teams starts with Cairo Santos as the kicker, Torrey Taylor the punter, Scott Daly the long snapper, and the return specialists are Devin Duvernay and Luther Burden. And we're going to see a lot of Duvernay on the return game. Now for the 49ers. Under center, it's Brock Purdy. The running back is Christian McCaffrey. Outside receivers are Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings. The slot receiver is DeMarcus Robinson. The tight end is Jake Tonjes, who is filling in for the injured George Kittle. The offensive line from left to right, Trent Williams, Spencer Burford, Jake Brendel, Dominic Puny, and Colton McKivitz. On defense for the Niners begins with Jordan Elliott and Kalia Davis up front. The defensive ends are Bryce Huff and Sam Okoyenu. The linebackers are D. Winters and Tatum Feud. The outside corners are Darrell Luter Jr. and Diamador Lenore. The slot corner is Upton Stout. The safeties are Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa. Now on special teams, the kicker is Eddie Pinheiro. The punter is Thomas Morstead. The long snapper is John Weeks. And the return specialists are Sky Moore and Jordan Watkins. Our referee for tonight's game is Alex Moore. The umpire is former NFL player Terry Killens. Down judge is Dana McKenzie. Line judge is Tom Eaton. Field judge is Merle Robinson. Side judge is Anthony Jeffries. The back judge is Terrence Miles. The replay official is Tyler Ceramelli. And the replay assistant is Desiree Abrams. Now we go to our inactive players for this game. Case Keenum is the emergency third quarterback for the Bears. Right behind Tyson Baggett, who is the backup quarterback, coming out of the Shepherd of NCAA Division II. The inactives are, we begin with Olamide Zacchaeus out of an illness, Romo Dunze of a foot injury, Luke Newman, who was activated from the IR out of a foot injury. And on the defensive side, Ruben Hippolyte II is a healthy scratch. Nick McLeod out of an illness, and Dallas Flowers called up from the practice squad, another healthy scratch. Now the 49ers, their inactives include Isaac Guerrero, healthy scratch. Jordan Watkins, healthy scratch, so excuse me there. Sky Moore would be the full-time return specialist here. George Kittle is out with an injury. Robert Beal Jr. and Kevin Givens are healthy scratches alongside Curtis Robinson, while Renardo Green misses a second straight game to a neck injury. So we'll expect to see a lot of McCaffrey and Brian Robinson Jr. for the 49ers. Out the backfield, Jordan James, the rookie out of Oregon, is the third running back of this group. The receivers are Ricky Pearsall, DeMarcus Robinson, Sky Moore, Jawan Jennings, and Kendrick Bourne, who has established a chemistry in his time in New England with Mac Jones. This is Bourne's second stint with the 49ers. He is back on a one-year deal. The tight ends are Jake Tonjes, Luke Farrell, and Braden Willis, elevated from the practice squad ahead of this game. The other player elevated from the practice squad for the Niners was Eric Kendricks. The elevated from the practice squad for the Bears are J.P. Richardson, Nikola Kalinic, Trey Hill, and who I believe was Dallas Flowers. Yes, it is Dallas Flowers who is elevated from the practice squad. The kickoff is soon enough for this game and a lot of playoff implications. In fact, why not go through what we're seeing now in the playoff implications? One game in which it had a lot was the Eagles and Bills. The Eagles already at the NFC East already locked up. They can no longer fight for the 1 seed. However, the Bills need to win to keep their AFC East title hopes alive. However, it came down to the last play. Because Michael Badgley had his extra point blocked, the Bills were forced to go for 2 and the win. Josh Allen did a tush push for the touchdown. However, he missed a wide open Khalil Shakir on the 2-point conversion. The Eagles survive and get out alive from Buffalo, despite getting outgained on all facets offensively. The total yards 331 to 190. Buffalo, in what was a rainy day in Buffalo. Time possession 35-15 for the Bills, 24-45 for the Eagles. And it was a pretty lackluster day for the Eagles offense. It was more of a defensive victory. Jalix Hunt recording 3 quarterback hits and 2 sacks on Josh Allen. 7 tackles for loss in total. And we also had sacks from Jalen Phillips, Moro Ojomo, and Jalen Carter. No interceptions to speak of from either side. as it was a half a sack split between Greg Russo and Matt Milano, the only sack on Hurts in this game. 2 pass defense, both of them from Christian Benford, but actually the other one was from Tre'Davious White. And for the Eagles, they had 3 passes breaking up, one by Jalen Carter, tipping one at the line. Adoree Jackson with 2 pass breakups. Ojobo also had 2 quarterback hits to add on to Hunt's 3 QB hits. The 49ers trying to make it to the big game at their own building, much like what the Rams did 4 seasons ago. And the Buccaneers 5 seasons ago, trying to win it as well. The Brock Purdy, who has been efficient ever since returning to the lineup, has been on a heater. Mr. Irrelevant is, of course, more than relevant. He missed 8 games this season to an injury, but he's back and better than ever. Silently one of the best quarterbacks in the league, averaging 248.1 passing yards per game. Touchdown to interception ratio of 17-8. He's completing 154 out of 224 for 1737 yards. In the 7 games that he's played, passer rating of 102.1. And Christian McCaffrey is on the cusp of eclipsing 2,000 scrimmage yards total this year. That's 1,039 rushing yards, 849 receiving yards. On 280 carries, 92 catches. 668 yards after the catch as well. He's one of the big reasons why the Niners lead the league in yards after the catch. The 49ers still in the fight for the 1 seed, so are the Bears. The Seahawks currently hold the top seed in the NFC at 13-3. The Bears and Eagles are the first 2 to clinch their divisions. And now, that was followed up by the New England Patriots clinching the division with the Bills losing. And with the victory by New England over the Jets in a dominant fashion. Fred Warner getting the fans hyped up. He hurt his ankle in October, but he's on the path back to recovery and could realistically come back in time for the playoffs. Of course, there's the horn that sounded all over Levi Stadium. The Bears won the toss. They are deferring to the second half. Touchback percentage from the Bears on kickoffs is 22%. Both Sky Moore and Brian Robinson Jr. are the return men. DeSantos is ready to kick this off. Let's get this going, everyone. The balance of the NFC could be tilted one way or another, no matter what outcome we see. This is for crucial playoff positioning, and here we go. Let's get rocking and rolling. Returning from the goal line is Sky Moore as he takes us back to the 23-yard line where he is tossed to the ground. And San Francisco's offense will take over there. It was Joe Tryon-Shoyinka with the stop. There's Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, the receivers on the outside. Luke Farrell, the top run-blocking tight end on the 49ers, out there to start this game, alongside Kyle Juszczyk, who has been used in a variety of situations by the Niners. Receiver, tight end, fullback, you name it. He can be slotted anywhere. He's motioning to the right, and he's to the right of Purdy. Now he motions right. Purdy looks on the right side, picked off on the tip, and this could be returned for a touchdown. He has blockers. TJ Edwards scores on the first play of the game. Jaylon Johnson got a head on the ball. And TJ Edwards, the former Philadelphia Eagle, took it all away. Jawan Jennings went one-on-one with Jaylon Johnson on the outside right. Purdy wanted to go to him on the feed to test that coverage. Johnson, with the hand onto him, helped Edwards out. And what a start for the Bears at Levi Stadium. An early silencer here. Cairo Santos to kick the extra point right after. Up, and no doubt about it. 15-7 seconds. That's how long it took. And he thinks that it was an easy one? Well, Jawan Johnson had other plans. Ooh, when he can see the receiver and the quarterback at the same time, you know you got yourself an advantage. Coming in right from the right side, and that was not a good matchup. And Al Harris, the defensive backs coach, is fired up. Ooh, and he has a lot going on with his career as a defensive back. He knows what the life is like as a defensive back. And is it something they practice on having these much interceptions? He may be a defensive back whisperer already. It's 7-0 Bears. Just 15 seconds into the game, and we are going back onto the dynamic kickoffs implemented right from the UFL. Throughout the course of this season, Al Harris has mentored defensive backs wanting to develop their games. As Santos sees this one go, the end zone was going to be fielded at the end zone and taken to the 20-yard line. So they're going to have it against this Bears defense. But one-on-one coverage is going to be hard against these Bears defensive backs, knowing that they have been developed by Al Harris. Of course, we may need to start talking about this Al Harris University. They're starting for the 35, not the 20. Brock Purdy airs this out right side. Oh, there might be a push. And they're going to check if there's a flag. Ricky Pearsall, the intended man, no flag was thrown that time. Now, Sean Wright was in coverage. And Wright being one of the biggest stories of the year as an emerging defensive back after Tyreek Stevenson got less and less reps. Wright with 5 interceptions, second on the team to Kevin Byard with a league-leading 6. That interception from Edwards is the 22nd of the year for the Chicago defense. Toss right, it is McCaffrey. He can run with it. And he gets 3 yards on this carry to the right side. And it was TJ Edwards who had that pick 6. Austin Pleasant in his 19th career game on his 3rd team with the NFL. And he is filling in at left tackle for Trent Williams after Williams went down to injury. Right after that, motioning left is Robinson, former Kansas City Chief. Here's Purdy on 3rd and 7, throwing middle. He's found his man, Tunges, right into Bears territory. First down. To the 44-yard line. And even though George Kittle is out, they of course know next man up is their motto. And Nick Tunges has made the most of next man up throughout this season in the time that Kittle was missed. He just gets a slice of space right into the open traction. And for the 44, on the motion right is Juszczyk. Here's McCaffrey. With a lane, McCaffrey, 9 yards. He rumbled and sliced and diced up the defense on that right side run towards the B gap. Brock Purdy was the last pick in the 2022 draft. And the 5 touchdowns last week were the most for San Francisco since Super Bowl 29 with Steve Young, throwing in 5 touchdowns. 18 yards for that catch and run for Tunges as it's Luke Farrell into the game on the motion left. Here is McCaffrey again. He is stuffed half a yard short. So we're going to wait and see, and they have confirmed he is half a yard short. Gervon Dexter was at the bottom of that pile. And this is take 2 for this going. They're actually going to give them the first down. He got enough. Needed one, and he got exactly one. Christian McCaffrey has been the star of the show on the running backs. The 3.6 yards per rush this season, however, for the 49ers are the second lowest in the NFL among all teams. It's an X-Man up mentality that has kept them thriving. They have thrived under resiliency. Purdy will go middle and is knocked down. Austin Booker came off the edge. He got on the way at the Purdy pass and forced that incompletion in his second down. It looked like a big opening for the middle, but Booker knew that Purdy was going to check it down to Kyle Juszczyk and swat that ball to the line. We know McCaffrey's right behind it. Second down and 10. With Booker going up against Pleasance. McCaffrey is in the swat at the left side. Empty set. Purdy immediately fires it. Caught. Right side. And advancing ahead was Tonjes, who Purdy hits up for the second time. Third and more manageable. It is third and 2. A tight window for Purdy to throw to, but he made the most of that one. Jake Tonjes emerges as the starting tight end at the 49ers. They were looking with the next man up mentality at the time Kittle was out. Throughout the time in which Kittle was out, and I might be doing some repetition, but nonetheless, here's third and 2. On a play fake, Purdy steps away from the pressure, directs traffic right side, going end zone, flag down. It is Robinson down at the 1. The flag came out near the secondary. We'll have to check it out. And our first penalty call from Alex Moore, first-year referee. It's a holding penalty to the defense, but obviously it's going to be declined with Robinson setting up the 49ers at the 1-yard line. Jaquan Brisker called for it, and Robinson, who has been among the replacements that the Niners were trusting with after Brandon Ayuk's lengthy injury and him leaving the organization this season. And set up first and goal. Purdy rolling out, throwing end zone wide open for the touchdown. Jake Tonjes. What an answer! 3 catches on the drive and the opening offensive score. You usually do not see the Bears defense make mistakes like these, but for whatever reason, Tonjes was left wide open all alone, and by the time Kevin Byard noticed that, it was already too late. Purdy lofts one up, and right there for the taking was Tonjes. The extra point is down the middle. So take 2 is successful. We are tied at 7. Brock Purdy to Jake Tonjes on the answer after the pick 6. 7-all. Almost 5 minutes in. I'm Alec Nava. We'll be right back. We're back here at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. The Chicago Bears won one of the best games of the year on a miraculous comeback over the Green Bay Packers, 22-16. And wow, that throw never gets old. And one of the most thrilling moments for Bears fans on the season. Their 6 of their wins have come when trailing in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, which is the most of the season in NFL history. Caleb Williams and the Chicago offense will go out for the first time with 4:03 into the first quarter. Devin Duvernay is back. He decides to return this one from his own goal line. Duvernay splits the middle, and he gets it back to the 29-yard line. And Williams leading its Bears offense onto the field with DJ Moore and Luther Burden III. Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland are the 2 tight ends to begin this game. It's actually not Theo Benedette. That's actually Ozzy Trapilo starting at left tackle. For Chicago, all the other starters are there. Motioning right is DeAndre Swift. Benedette out of an illness, as is Williams on an empty set. Over to the middle, immediately caught by Kmet. He gets it to about the 36-yard line for 7 yards. Caleb with a 58% completion percentage, but he's averaging 227 passing yards per game. A touchdown to interception ratio of 26-7. His 6 fourth quarter comebacks are the most in the NFL, in which he's led his Bears to. A very cardiac team, but they can win in the most exciting ways. 2nd and 3. Kmet in motion left. On another play fake, it is Williams batted at the line. That is Jordan Elliott with the swat. And it's 3rd and 3. He'll set that up. And Elliott read it through the left side. The 6th-year man out of Mizzou. To set up that 3rd down, as Elliott read that Williams was going to throw left side towards Swift and knocked it away. This is going to be a shotgun set. The 43% 3rd down conversion rate is 6th in the NFL for Chicago. Stack left, tight ends right, single back. Motion left is Loveland. Yet another play fake. Williams looks left side, fakes there, stumbles, gets back up on his feet, directs traffic right side, and it was broken up. Oh, what was this? There's a flag out. Caleb is motioning for his guys to come back. We'll check out this penalty. It's going to be on the Bears for an eligible man downfield. The 49ers are going to decline the penalty, and the Bears are going to punt the ball away. Oh, never mind. There's no penalty. We thought that there was an ineligible man downfield, but the pass was broken up, nonetheless, on the right side. Now send Torrey Taylor out to punt. 2nd-year man out of Iowa set to send it away. Sky Moore is back deep. 23 returns, an average of 12.12 yards per return on the punt. And Taylor sends it off. Diamador Lenore is the blocker. And Josh Blackwell is the gunner. It takes a bounce to the end zone for a touchback. So this ball will come out to the 20-yard line, where the Niners will begin with 9:59 to go in the first quarter. are 5 minutes into this game where we are tied at 7. The Bears went 3 and out. On their opening offensive drive, they're on the board thanks to a pick 6 from TJ Edwards, assisted by Jawan Johnson. As we're giving the assist because of that tip from Johnson. Trent Williams has his helmet off. He's being replaced by Austin Pleasant at the left tackle side. Christian McCaffrey's in motion, left and right onto the tight end spot. Purdy loads up towards the middle. Tight window, caught. And that is Jake Tonjes. He's been everywhere in this first quarter. 4 catches already. On the pick 6, it was Williams who exited the game. The injury is a hamstring injury. And he came out walking very slowly. And so, yeah, as we are mentioning, Trent Williams injured his hamstring on the opening play as McCaffrey runs towards the right side. Purdy outside, Edmonds was there to limit him to just 1 yard. And offensively, the whole game plan changes knowing that Trent Williams is the one who can lead the way. And George Kittle, the top pass catcher, at least on the tight ends for San Francisco. With him out, at least they have another safety valve to step up in his absence with Jake Tonjes. And the wide receivers are no slouches either. Tonjes motions towards the right, and then that's followed up with Robinson motioning right. Brian Robinson on the play fake, with Purdy trying to get away from Montez Sweat, which he does. He's going to run it himself. He'll slide away from Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and get 5 yards out of it. 3rd and 5. Chicago's defense has been a revolving seesaw, up and down, up and down. Can be the high of highs or the low of lows, either way. And even though they lead the league in interceptions, they're more of a mid-tier defense. If Trent Williams out for the rest of this game, he took off his shoulder pads and he walked onto the locker room with that hamstring injury. He was walking very slowly on the sidelines. Bears fake the blitz. Purdy under duress. That's batted down. Austin Booker with another one. He has knocked down a lot of passes at the defensive line. And that forces Thomas Morstead to punt for the first time in a month. Booker had 8 sacks during his time as a Kansas Jayhawk. Already he's making impact, but on a different reason. It's about batting down passes. Here he is. This will be Morstead's 39th punt of the season. He has not been relied on a lot. That's because of how efficient this offense is. This is going to be a very good kick to the 16-yard line where Duvernay called for the fair catch with 7:44 to go. So welcome back, Thomas Morstead. Caleb Williams will lead the Bears on the field when we return. Back here, Chicago and San Francisco battling it out. These two still eligible for the number one seed in the NFC. Both number one seeds have not been decided, but we have some important division battles next week. The Steelers and Ravens for the AFC North. The Buccaneers and Panthers for the NFC South. In motion left is DJ Moore. And here's the first run of the game is Kyle Manangai, the rookie running back for Chicago. And it's just 1 yard in which the Niners limited him to. Rookie out of Rutgers as the running back number 2. The third running back on this team is Travis Homer. Used more for special team situations. Darrell Luter Jr., the reserve corner, filling in for the injured Renardo Green. Diamador Lenore is their top corner in this unit. One that's been not getting to the quarterback a lot, but that's in the absence of Nick Bosa. It doesn't help that they're missing Michael Williams too. Manangai again. 3 yards. He got 2 on the previous one. It's 3rd and 5. And Darnell Wright was the highest drafted offensive lineman by the Bears since Jimbo Covert in 1983. He was the 10th overall selection 2 years ago coming out of Tennessee. And he has thrived as the right tackle of this team and being a fixture of this unit. Alongside Tooney, Dahlman, and Jackson. The Bears were investing heavily on offensive line a lot. And this one broken up left side by Brown. Jair Brown got a hand right on DJ Moore to force the free and out. With 6:24 left in the opening quarter and the Niners defense getting the stops that they want here early. And Jair Brown keyed in on Moore, his man coverage all throughout. And that was his sequence, one-on-one throughout. The punting unit is on once again. Torrey Taylor to send it. Boots it off. And this will be Sky Moore to return it as he gets ahead of Jawan Jones getting back to the 34. Foul return for him. And now we see Christian McCaffrey back out. Well, he is Mr. Queen. He is Mr. All-Purpose. His career scrimmage yards per game is Warren 16. Third all-time behind Barry Sanders and Jim Brown. There are 3 players with at least 1,000 rushing and receiving yards in a season. Him, Roger Craig, and Marshall Faulk. This year is 1,052 rushing yards and 49 receiving yards. That's how Queen he can be. And he's on a very good team in the 49ers. Motioning left, I believe was Kendrick Bourne. Yes, it was. He'll go inside the block. McCaffrey gets away from one man and makes the second man miss. The third man misses. Nashawn Wright can't catch up to him. He's surrounded now. He's trying to evade all of them. And he takes it to the 23 in Bears territory. Mr. Clean. How do you do? A move to the inside off one juke, and then he makes Nashawn Wright completely miss out on him. That was the difference between him and the rest of this, as he makes Montez Sweat look like a fool in faking him out on the defensive line and making a cut to the inside. The shifty route running on the run. And he gets himself a well-earned rest out for one play, and Wright is banged up at the end of it. That's 41 yards on the run. Wright is walking up under his own power, so that's good news. It was a zone look for the Niners, and it was Wright. Oof. Ran into by his own teammate, Jawan Johnson. Friendly fire. Tyreek Stevenson is going to take over in Wright's place. Third year man for the Bears. As motion left is Juszczyk. Now they go to Robinson. Ryan Robinson cuts around and takes this to the 10. 15 yards. And it's 1st and goal. No Trent Williams. No George Kittle. No problem. It's Clay Kubiak who is calling the shots as the offensive coordinator for the 49ers. Everybody's going to follow up on the right side with this being an inside zone split. And Robinson carried two defenders on Brisker and Byard. Bears change formation on defense. It's a single back set. It's a bootleg as Purdy gonna take it himself. Brock Purdy dives for the touchdown! As sly as a fox, Brock Purdy taking it in from 10 yards out on the bootleg. Once they break the pocket, they held up the pressure at the right side, and seeing no options in the end zone, he went up and took it, crossing the goal line. But here's the question. Did he dive in for the touchdown? Where was his knee down? They're not reviewing it, so they're going to uphold the touchdown. Eddie Pinheiro for the extra point. And it's up. The former Bear is 2 for 2 on extra points. And Brock Purdy, oh man, making San Francisco get some more Slurpees. 14-7 San Francisco. The Bears are out of hibernation with 7 wins by 1 score, tied for the second most in team history. Their 6 wins after trailing in the final 2 minutes are the most in NFL history. Caleb Williams with 6 fourth quarter comebacks are tied for the most by a first or second year quarterback. The other being Peyton Manning in that matter. So even when you think your lead is safe in the final 2 minutes, even in 1-score games, no, it's not. And even with if Chicago being down, one can imagine that in the most clutch moments of a game, they have other teams right where they want them. It's 14-7 San Francisco. They have 8 first downs. And the low points for the Bears have come on the TJ Edwards pick 6. This will be returned. It is Josh Blackwell who brought it out, not Devin Duvernay. And it was excellent field position for San Francisco as they bring him down at the 22-yard line. So it was a summer coaching change or a mid-season coaching change for the Bears last year when they fired Matt Eberflus after the debacle on Thanksgiving, with the epic clock mismanagement, with Thomas Brown being the interim head coach. Then you go out and hire Ben Johnson, who was the best coach on the open market. And that was a home run hire for the Bears. And he's got them on this spot. The best thing to happen for Caleb's development. Here he is on the play fake to Swift. He's going to air this out through the middle. Double deflected. Incomplete. There were defenders in the area. The pass intended for Colston Loveland. But it was the rookie. Oh my goodness. He was in the way at that. And what a deflection that was for Tatum Bethune, the sophomore out of Florida State, to deflect that, the native of Miami, Florida, to get in the way. He got ahead of it. He knew it was going to be too high to intercept that. That was some shot, that was. Motioning all the way to the right, it's Monangai on 2nd and 10. It is Williams with the Niners rushing 4. Pass to the left, it is Burden. And there's the first down. What a spin move on the left side. Luther Burden letting the Niners know he's back. He has more chances to grow alongside Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, and Romo Dunze on the pass catching game. You can also count Colston Loveland on this matter. Burden with 490 receiving yards entering this game. He was inactive last week because of an ankle injury. He does have 1 touchdown to his game, that being on a long one. Duvernay in the game, he's in the slot. I'll run to the right. This is DeAndre Swift, the former Philadelphia Eagle, as he runs into, I believe that was Diamador Lenore, number 2 in red, and he gets 8 yards out of this. And Dunze out for a 4th straight game because of that foot injury. He has 6 touchdowns with 661 receiving yards. He could be eligible next week. But the Bears, having already clinched the division, there may be no reason for him to play as Moore motions all the way to the left. Play fake on the pistol set. Screen set up for a first down to Komet. And he has blockers in him to take him to midfield. A flag comes in, however. He's brought down at the 49-yard line. We'll have to check the penalty on what this is at. 75 Ozzie Trapillo, the rookie out of Boston College, with the lead block. The penalty is for an illegal block below the waist on Tatum Bethune. And because that's a personal foul, it's 15 yards added by the end of play. And by doing so, he actually made the tackle. But he went low on Trapillo, the left tackle, for the old jersey worn by Kyle Long, 75. And you cannot block another player right below the waist area. And right below the knees, that is called clipping. That almost looked like clipping. Swift was brought down midfield. Now the Bears are up to 9:35. Williams airs this out for the end zone. Going for it all. Touchdown! Luther Burden is back! The Bears have a penchant for deep throws every game. Caleb Williams is not afraid to take the deep shot. Burden gets behind the secondary, and this game is tied on a Williams deep shot. What a block from Joe Tooney to hold off the approaching defenders from San Francisco on the left side as Cairo Santos. Oh, there goes pressure as the Niners attempted to block it, but it's good. There was pressure from the left from CJ West, 99. There is a flag, however. The 49ers side of the field, I think there might be roughing or running into. Which one is it? It's going to be personal foul San Francisco. For leverage. You cannot use a teammate to get higher up. It is a leverage penalty on Alfred Collins. You cannot use another teammate to get up. It's on the inside. Yeah, he got the hand down right on his teammate. The kick is good. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. We're even up at 14 apiece. 2:58 to go in the first quarter. The views of the Bay Area, always one to behold. Simu Liu is in attendance here at Levi Stadium, famous for Shang-Chi from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's also part of the Barbie movie. It's one of the Kens. 14-0 here between Chicago and San Francisco. The kickoff will be from midfield. Now, is Cairo Santos going to intentionally kick this out of bounds so as to not enforce that touchback? As so, the ball would go to the 25-yard line. More kickers have exposed this loophole. Is he going to kick this one out of bounds? And the Bears are going to do exactly that. Flag is out. Niners to start for the 25. That's a loophole as part of the rule book from the updated kickoff rules. But when we look at similarities between Drew Brees and Brock Purdy, they may be a little too uncanny with the throwing motion, and it just step back, back foot, and let it go. The similarities are there between the two of them on the throwing motion, on the quick throws up the middle. 2:58 to go here in the first quarter. And the first play is a fake to Pearsall. Purdy throws back to him, and he dropped it. It was about 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so for better or for worse, you exchange a lots of yardage potentially for a drop pass. I feel that could have been worse than just a drop pass that time around. 2nd and 10. As the 49ers are looking to get going here. And at any time where you can just sling it down the field, you do that. Motion right is Juszczyk. Another play fake to McCaffrey. Purdy holds on to it, throws it deep for the left side. Wide open is Pearsall. Past the 50 and down to 45. 30 yards. And Pearsall slow to get up. The former first-round pick selected amid the trade speculation on Brandon Ayuk, making the most of this opportunity with his route running. He is slippery with an exclamation mark on all of them as he makes Nashawn Wright go on hockey skates. Back in the game after getting banged up on the previous plays, one of the previous drives, and here's McCaffrey slipping and sliding through. Oh boy, how well can he do that? 6 or 7 yards? It all depends on the spot. And no, I'm not quoting any of those memes. They're going to say 7 yards on that. And Pearsall is on the sideline, a little banged up after getting tackled after that 30-yard catch and run. 2nd and 3.5. McCaffrey's once again the single back. They'll go back to him. And he gets away from 2 tacklers. He gets 1 yard, but a flag is out. Slippery enough to where he can turn a loss of 1 into a gain of 1. He can and do a lot more damage, though, when given the holes necessary. But, of course, the offensive line has the capability of giving him holes to run through. Kyle Shanahan and Ben Johnson, the head coaches, as Alex Moore and his crew are discussing it. No penalty. There has been a plethora of injuries for the season for the 49ers. Brock Purdy missed 8 games with injuries to his shoulder and toe. Ricky Pearsall missed 7 to a knee and ankle injury. George Kittle 6 games of a hamstring and ankle injuries. Fred Warner was placed on the IR with an ankle injury. He is due to come back for a playoff push. Nick Bosa lost for the year to a torn ACL. It's 3rd and 2. On a shotgun, they're going to keep it with Brock Purdy on the right side being chased by Sweat, and he'll dive for the first down. The read option works with Sweat chasing after Purdy, and while Purdy doesn't run a lot, he can use that to his advantage, and that he did, even when chased by Sweat. Kittle's a 2-time first-team All-Pro and a 7-time Pro Bowl selection, was named to this year's Pro Bowl as the starting tight end, inactive tonight to an ankle injury. And if the Niners win this game, they'll be in position for a possible NFC West battle. McCaffrey munched up this time. One of the rare times in which he stuffed for a loss, it's Andrew Billings. Loss of 1. And this is likely going to be the last play of this first quarter. Austin Booker also catching up to McCaffrey on the toss towards the left side. Already we're seeing fireworks here in San Francisco. Oh, the Niners are rushing to the line. They don't need to run another play here. The likelihood is that they're trying to draw the Bears off sides. As Kyle Juszczyk went towards the right side. And trying to go with the hard count. 5 seconds remain. And yes, we're just going to take this to the end of the first. The plan here was to get the Bears offside. Nothing doing. The Bears stay disciplined. Well done for both teams, really. 14-all after 1 quarter. The second is next. Stay tuned for that. I'm Alec Nava. shots of San Francisco, and even with the orbital shots, which it looks like a planet. It's amazing the types of shots that you can do and what you can do creatively with cameras these days with video editing. The Bears clinched the 1 seed with a win this week and a win next week, coupled with a Seahawks loss. The Niners win the 1 seed by winning out. No help needed for the Niners. Win this week, win next week. Second quarter is set to go here, and the first play is a straight drop back for Purdy, who fires right side. Wide open is Pearsall. Back into the game. First play is a first down catch for 13 yards. The lucky number. San Francisco likes to roll with a lot of route running, and Pearsall does a lot of that. He finds himself wide open, nobody covering him, exposing the holes on the defensive side, and was able to get himself up right there on the spot. McCaffrey on the run, he's in the red zone. He's thinking for first down. He's thinking of more. 16 yards of rumbling for CMC. It's more of an inside zone through the B gap. It's part of the ordinary running through. The cutback on Kevin Byard and Christian McCaffrey, one of the most dynamic running backs in the NFL, shows the patience that he provides when running through holes. 5 yards for pay dirt, first and goal. Toss right, Juszczyk the blocker, McCaffrey the runner. McCaffrey the touchdown! CMC is dynamite! 9 plays for the 49ers. On a drive to span 4:14, Juszczyk was lined up as the tight end next to Luke Farrell on the left side. And on the motion that led to him setting the edge and the block right on Jawan Johnson. And that allows McCaffrey to waltz in, gaining the edge on Tremaine Edmonds for an easy touchdown. The extra point is good from Eddie Pinheiro, and it's 21-14. It's all touchdowns here. The 49ers lead 21-14 early in the second quarter. I'm Alec Nava. Stay tuned, everyone, for with the Bears getting the ball. Bears down 7 again. They know the situation. Ben Johnson in his younger days had played youth football. And he used to draw plays of his dad. And now he's the head coach of the Chicago Bears. He had some plays drawn up with his dad early in his life. From Charleston, South Carolina, his father was a high school principal coach at Idaho State University and the Citadel. His mother was a middle school teacher. He played quarterback at A.C. Reynolds High School in Asheville, North Carolina, helping them lead to a North Carolina 4A state championship in his junior year. And as a senior, was named Conference Player of the Year, graduating in the top 5 of his high school class. He was a walk-on for the Tar Heels at UNC Chapel Hill. The kick is up from Eddie Pinheiro. Back deep is Devin Duvernay to kneel it in the end zone. And Johnson was a walk-on with the North Carolina Tar Heels. He competed as a reserve quarterback, graduating with degrees in mathematics and computer science. Spent a year outside football after college graduation, working instead as a software developer for the company eTelenext in Durham, North Carolina. Inspired to get into coaching by his offensive coordinator John Shoup, he was hired as a graduate assistant for the Boston College Eagles, then an offensive assistant for the Miami Dolphins. Eventually a quality control coach for the Detroit Lions, tight ends coach in 2020, retained by Dan Campbell when he was named the head coach, all the way up to offensive coordinator. Run to the right for Monangai. Monangai breaks free, has Brown to beat, tried to run through him, and he was pounded at the 47. A big run for Kyle Monangai onto the right side, which was set up nice by Durham Smythe, and making one man miss Lenore. DeAndre Swift was also part of this running back group. Monangai, explosive out this backfield, running to the 47-yard line. Williams, the keeper on the play fake, goes back to Monangai. Monangai splits the gap. Another first down. Dives head first for 11 more after the first run went for 18 yards. Talking about 7th round picks out of Rutgers. Kyle Monangai, a 7th round pick in the 2025 NFL draft. We've seen this story before about explosive running backs coming out of Rutgers, drafted in the 7th round. We saw this before of Isaiah Pacheco with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now we're seeing with Monangai. Cole Kmet motions right alongside Theo Benedette, who is relegated to an extra offensive lineman, and there was early movement. This is a free play for the Bears. Williams, well protected here, slings as far as he can. Caught in the end zone by Colston Loveland. Touchdown, Chicago! And of course, the penalty is declined because it was an offside penalty. It's a free play, and once again, it's the deep balls that the Bears love to throw. He knew he had a lot of players jumping on the Niners' side. You can't pick any one. There were 2 of them who jumped, and it was a wide open Colston Loveland right on the money for Williams on the deep ball. Could not get any pressure there, and the extra point is good. It is 21-21. Williams to Loveland. A lot of love here in Chicago. And we're seeing touchdowns being put up in bunches all throughout. Play action right after the first run from Monangai. And then this one was a deep strike from Caleb Williams to Colston Loveland, and all of a sudden, we're going back and forth here. 21-21, our score here, in what is a high-stakes game for both teams. It's a rollout to the right, and we're seeing how young quarterbacks develop into successful players in the NFL. Caleb Williams going deep to Colston Loveland, fighting that deep ball touch that he loves so much throughout the season. As you see about offensive-minded coaches being the best things in ever for young quarterbacks looking to make the most of their development. It works with Liam Cohen for the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. It's working with Ben Johnson for the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams. And we're seeing an offensive shootout develop here. 21-21 here at Levi Stadium. This is a squib kick. Fielded at the 7-yard line by Sky Morris. He's going to take it up the middle. Runs into his old man, Braden Willis. And forced back into 27. Brought down by Travis Homer. San Francisco is going to keep the ball. And so far, both quarterbacks have combined for 214 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick six. Brock Purdy, 7 of 12, 106 yards, 1 touchdown, that interception. Caleb Williams is 6 of 10, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. In the last 4 drives, we've seen a combined 4 touchdowns between these two teams. The Niners are outgaining the Bears 221-140. The Bears love the big play. They're going to start for the 28-yard line. Motion rise Jawan Jennings. Here is McCaffrey moving up. Being pushed some more for 4 yards. So now, looking back at that first quarter was all sorts of chaotic when we look at it. Brock Purdy first threw a pick six, then threw a passing touchdown, then ran for a touchdown. So all that's left is for him to catch a touchdown. Question is Kyle Shanahan going to scheme that one up? Fake a toss towards the left, and here's a first down catch by Tunges at the 41-yard line. 9 yards. He's taking on that George Kittle role. Already Tunges having himself one of the best games of his career. He was an undrafted free agent and already 5 catches, 48 yards, 1 touchdown. Tunges filling in for Kittle in his absence. Of course, he's making magic happen. And how about Austin Pleasance filling in for Trent Williams? McCaffrey fakes left, then goes middle. 3 yards before the stop by C.J. Gardner-Johnson, to start the year with the Houston Texans, was cut and then picked up by the Chicago Bears. The Bears already a middle-of-the-pack defense, but they get the most out of their takeaways with interceptions, 22 of such. They have a league-leading 32 interceptions. Kyle Juszczyk is going to line up wide out towards the left side as a receiver in a stack formation. Tunges motions left. And now Juszczyk walks over in motion to the right. Here's an end around to Sky Moore. With Tunges the lead blocker, he gets a first down at the Bears 45. Sky Moore getting more opportunity here in San Francisco with this everybody eats offense of the Niners. No true wide receiver one, but everybody is thriving in their role. It is a little end around with Pleasance and Tunges setting the blocks right on the left side. Kyle Shanahan's offense making the most of this West Coast schematics. And another shout out to the offensive line coach. As the Purdy rolls out towards the right side on a play fake, and he gets munched up by Booker. Ran out of time to throw it. And Booker's big first half continues on. 2 passes tipped, and now a sack. The offensive line coach and assistant head coach Chris Forrester having himself a game. But Boston Booker having himself a game of a lifetime. 2 passes tipped, and then a sack. Purdy went down to avoid the brunt of the weight. To avoid getting brought down like a ragdoll. It's a loss of 7 on the play as Tunges motions to the left. Purdy throwing it. He's going to get towards the middle. McCaffrey to the 37. So they're back in field goal range. Shied the first down, however. But nonetheless, it is 14 yards on that catch and run on an angle route. Tied at 21 here. Nearly midway through to the second quarter. This was a Texas concept as McCaffrey faked the out and then went the angle on the inside. And who else would you want to throw to except him on these situations? 1 of 3 total yards and 1 touchdown for McCaffrey. Looks like a change of formation. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're going a little hard count here. Kyle Shanahan instead calls timeout. The Bears were calling for an illegal shift. This is 3rd and 3. You remember that Chris Forster, the offensive line coach, also the assistant head coach of the 49ers. Gus Bradley is the assistant head coach on defense. Robert Saleh is the defensive coordinator for the Niners. And we speak of assistant head coaches. Antoine Randall L. is the Bears' assistant head coach. He's also the wide receivers coach. Declan Doyle is the Bears' offensive coordinator. Clay Kubiak is the offensive coordinator of the 49ers. And when we speak of players getting a little jumpy, the Niners are telling Kyle Juszczyk to just relax, not to get a little too jumpy all throughout. 8:12 to go, second quarter. We're tied at 21. Purdy's going to throw it on 3rd and 3. He's looking. Airs this out towards the left side. And Tonja's there. Jaquan Brisker with the pass breakup. The strong safety out of Penn State. With his hands in there to break that up. So now we have a big decision to go for it or not to go for it. Brisker has stepped up every passing year as a safety, had his head turned around and played the ball. And that's what you want out of your strong safety all throughout. There's some wind against the Niners, so that's why the field goal unit is not out. Too long for a field goal, too short to punt. They're going for it on 4th and 3. Throw it towards the middle. Hold in for the first down. Easy money. Ricky Pearsall. Ricky P. That's 14 more big ones by the elusive man. Pearsall with the cut outside. Changes direction, goes inside. And with the one-on-one coverage drawn by Nashawn Wright, Pearsall makes the most of it. It was tight coverage, even though the separation wasn't there. Who needs separation when you can make those shifty route runs? McCaffrey, right side run for the C gap. Gets it to the red zone, 4 yards. The first down started at the 24 that time. Now take it to the 20. So the gamble pays off, going for it on 4th and 3 with the throw to Pearsall. So McCaffrey's going to sit down for this next one for 2nd and 6. This offensive line hasn't missed a beat in the absence of Williams. There were Burford, Brendel, Puny, and McKivitz. McKivitz being a face of this offensive line for the future now, having signed that extension. On the right side, Brian Robinson Jr. looking to plow ahead. And he gets 4 more yards for this Niners ground attack. It's 3rd and 2. Ball now at the 16-yard line. It's Shanahan looking at the plays. He's dialing up the next play call. And against the Colts, Shanahan put up a masterclass offensively. The game with the deal sealed on the pick 6 by D. Winters. 3rd and 2. Are we going to see a run play here? They're lighting up shotgun, but they love to mix things up. It will be a run. McCaffrey, first down, looking for more. 2 to 10. Maybe to 9. And San Francisco is still rolling here. They are methodical on this drive. First and goal. A lot of plays here on the run have been with the running backs being completely dialed in. Where to go? Of course, going up with the gap set by McKivitz. 114 total yards set by McCaffrey as motioning to the right is Juszczyk. And this time, the Bears get to him. Loss of 1 from McCaffrey. And you may be thinking about passing the ball. It's TJ Edwards at the game-opening pick 6. on this game. The Bears defense trying to right the ship here. Tied at 21. Here on 2nd and goal. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns in the red zone. Probably they can anticipate another one here. Tonjes motions to the left. Pearsall is lined up opposite Jawan Johnson. Purdy's throwing it. First time forever that he's thrown it. And he finds Jawan Jennings. Mr. 3rd down in San Francisco at the 6 for 5 yards. They're going to say 4 yards. 3rd and goal is they're going to be at the 7-yard line. Question is, they're going to be thinking about what to roll with. They lost Brandon Ayuk, and they lost Deebo Samuel, but they have operated smoothly without the 2 of them. Shotgun set, trips right, 1 left. That man has Tonjes on the block and release. Purdy to the end zone, too high! Intercepted in the end zone by C.J. Gardner-Johnson! Returned it to the 8-yard line, a flag is out. We'll have to check it out. The flag is thrown at the 4-yard line, so hang on a minute. Wipe off the interception. Hands to the face. Half the distance to the goal. The Niners get an automatic 1st down. And it was ironically the man who intercepted the ball, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, getting called for hands to the face. Yes, he did. He turned Ricky Pearsall's head around. Got him with the helmet. So that negates the interception. So there, you cannot do that as a defensive back. So now it recycles everything. Another 1st and goal. McCaffrey have another edge of life. And he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, getting away from his offensive lineman at first. 2nd and goal with the stop made by both Jaquan Brisker and Tremaine Edmonds. They're at the 3-yard line. Pearsall, Tonjes, Jennings, Farrell, McCaffrey, all out there. Of course, here's with the way the Niners are rolling, they've been dominating time of possession. But knowing the Bears, of course, they don't care if they're trailing the time of possession battle by a lot. Kyle Shanahan is going to let the play clock run down and call timeout with 3:27 to go. 2nd and goal from the 3.5-yard line. And that pick 6 is what this game got going with. So the Niners have 1 timeout left. And this has been an electric start between both teams here at San Francisco. If we're seeing a possible playoff preview between these 2 teams, sign us up. It's been a very fun game to begin with. And Brock Purdy, who threw a pick 6 to begin the game, has answered nicely. Ricky Pearsall, Jake Tonjes, Christian McCaffrey being the 3 best pass catchers and skill position players on the field for the Niners on the day, as you expect them to be. Motioning right is Pearsall, right out the timeout. Audible here. They're getting the signal and they change the formation to a shotgun set. Purdy's going to take it himself, and he's going to run in for another touchdown. Tell him where to go. 2 rushing touchdowns on the day. First one a scramble. This one on a read option. Brock Purdy fakes it off to Christian McCaffrey, and it completely fools out Montez Sweat. Just like what happened earlier in this game, he fooled out Sweat again. Extra point is good. And the fireworks keep on rolling here at San Francisco. 7 combined touchdowns in this first half between these 2. And Brock Purdy delivers more Slurpees to the Niners. 28-21 when we come back. Fred Warner broke and dislocated his ankle in Week 6 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. However, there is the strong possibility that he makes a return for the playoffs coming back from those injuries. He's up at the press box with his family, his wife and kid. Oh man, and to have him back for the playoffs will be a huge boost for the 49ers. They've been thriving with Tatum Bethune and D. Winters filling in his place. Robert Saleh as a defensive coordinator being brought back to there is a huge boost for them. You'd think they could be doing up for something. Search for a Super Bowl victory as returning this is Devin Duvernay on for the far sideline. That's a 30 and out of bounds at the Niners sideline. A flag is out. 3:18 left in the second quarter. That penalty is on Travis Homer. So that holding penalty is going to push back the Bears. D. Winters has carved out a role for himself on this 49er defense. Though the Niners have less sacks on the season than Myles Garrett has this year, the Niners, even for their inconsistencies, are a unit that can get the job done whenever they would. Caleb Williams, chased by C.J. West from the left side, is going to take it and run and get 3 yards out of it, taking it out onto his own sideline. Saleh was the former head coach of the New York Jets. And coming back onto San Francisco, a reunion that he would love to have with Kyle Shanahan. The two are familiar with one another, and he's back to where he's appreciated here in San Francisco. Motioning right is Colston Loveland. They're going to say 2 yards for Williams on the scramble right when he was chased by West. Shotgun set to left and to right. Here's a flip to Swift for the first down. 9 yards, and Bryce Huff with the tackle. One of the two edge rushers on this starting lineup with the 49ers. As he is their de facto best one available in the wake of all the injuries. Especially to Nick Bosa and Michael Williams. Williams, a first-round pick who the Niners want to have paired next to Bosa. Both of them lost for the year. Luther Burden motions right. Sack set alongside Jade Walker. And the play clock runs down to 5, but we have reached a 2-minute warning. And what has been an electric first half. 28-21. San Francisco leads with 2 minutes to go. We'll be right back. Next week, it is winner go home for the Steelers and Ravens. Winner takes the AFC North and the division. Loser goes home and watches the playoffs from the couch. The Buccaneers and Panthers in the fight for the NFC South. Winner takes the division, loser goes home. Now the Panthers can still win the division even with a loss. That is if the Falcons win out. Pistol set for the Bears. Motioning left and then right is Devin Duvernay. On a first down and 10 from the 31-yard line. You think they want to go into field goal range. And here is DeAndre Swift. Run to the right. And he gets about 3 yards. And do remember, the Bears will start the second half with possession. In what has been an entertaining game between these two. Alfred Collins was the one who got up on Swift. And what a year it's been for Ryan Poles, in which the offensive line has been completely revamped. Not only with him making the free agent additions, but with the coaching of Ben Johnson. 2nd and 7 as Williams, feeling the pressure go to him, being chased, throws towards the right side, threw it away. Closing receiver was Colston Loveland. And it was 3rd and 7 now. 1:21 left as the clock stops. 28-21. And sometimes with Ben Johnson as the coach, you may have some looks that look weird. And with Robert Saleh as well, some coverage his schemes look weird. Some of his exotic schemes all throughout. 3rd and 7. Williams 6 for 11 for 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's been the big plays that have been huge for the Bears. Niners showing blitz. They will bring the pressure after Caleb. He'll heave this one towards the right side. Threw it away again. Nothing there. It's back-to-back throwaways for Caleb, in which the closing receiver was Colston Loveland. And that time the pass rush forced a free and out. A rare sight from Chicago. You don't want to allow a sack, but it's an explosion here with Keon White being the first to apply the pressure on Caleb, the other being Sam Okoyinu. Torrey Taylor to boot it. He will do that. And it is Sky Moore returning it. And he is drilled. Jaylon Jones right behind the 10-yard line to bring him down. Shot out of a cannon with Sky Moore blown up by the fireworks. We'll return in a moment. Christian McCaffrey has forced 5 missed tackles on the game, which resulted in 42 yards after those missed tackles. He has forced 108 missed tackles, the most in the NFL. That speaks to how elusive he is throughout the season. And electric. If you want to look at dynamite on a dictionary, this will pop up as the example. Christian McCaffrey, CMC. And he's out there on the field again. The most electrifying running back in the NFL. Purdy's going to pass it on first down. And he is pressured in the end zone, escapes out of it. With Montez Sweat chasing him down. He gets brought down for 3 yards on the chase downs. And now, what do we see here on second down? Chicago's calling timeout. And San Francisco being red hot on offense. Yes, they do have a litany of injuries that they went through throughout the course of the season, including Brock Purdy and George Kittle. But throughout the year, they've been battle tested. Second and 8 at the end of it as everybody gets back up right after the Chicago timeout. No Trent Williams, but no problem here throughout. Fake the throw, and now going up ahead as it's McCaffrey, who advances for 6 more yards, and a second timeout called by the Bears. On third and 2. And you'd imagine that if the Niners get the first down here or go deep, the game plan may change here. We'll go over final scores over at the halftime report. In this thriller of a primetime matchup between these two. One timeout each by both teams, as they both combined for 7 touchdowns. One on defense, the other's on offense, as you expect the other ones to be. TJ Edwards, the pick 6. Jake Tunges, the Brock Purdy, Luther Burden, Christian McCaffrey, Colston Loveland, Purdy again. Third and 2, empty set. Jaquan Brisker drawing in coverage, Purdy to throw it. It's going to go short to Tunges, who fights for the first down, which he does, 5 yards. To the 22-yard line. The Niners don't need to get to field goal range because they are in a lead right now at the half. 33 seconds left. Purdy towards the middle. A short completion to DeMarcus Robinson. And now 25 seconds left. Going to need a big chunk of yardage here. They're going to need Eddie Pinheiro to get a shot. He's going to look to McCaffrey. McCaffrey to the 32-yard line, or now to the 35, and San Francisco is going to call their final timeout. Brock Purdy showing his efficiency, taking what's given to him, and to at least have a chance at something. It's been a very efficient offense that they're operating with. Quick throws. And without George Kittle, they've been rolling. Without him, and without Trent and Williams, Christian McCaffrey continues to have one of his best games through the air and through the ground as well. And to look at McCaffrey, 17 rushes, 104 yards, and a touchdown. And through the air, 2 catches, 20 yards for a total of 120 yards on the season. The Niners may have to go with a middle pass. And here is Christian McCaffrey moving up for a lot of yardage. They have to get to the line of scrimmage here. They need to spike it. Go quickly. And they cannot. It will be halftime. So despite the chunk gain, It results in nothing. 28-21, the Niners lead at the half. The Bears will receive the second half kickoff when we begin it for the third quarter. The halftime report is next. I am Alec Nava. Stay tuned, everyone. What a fun first half that was. 7 combined touchdowns. Starting with a TJ Edwards 34-yard pick six. Jake Tunges from 1 yard out. Brock Purdy running from 10 yards out. Lofer Burden on the Caleb Williams' first of 2 deep strike touchdowns. Then Christian McCaffrey from 5 yards out. The second Williams deep strike to Coastal Loveland 36 yards. And then Brock Purdy read option from 3 yards out. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. And here at the half, the 49ers lead 28-21. San Francisco is 10-0 when leading at the halftime. That's the most wins without a loss on any point of a season between every team. The first down numbers are 22-8 for San Francisco. Total yards 330 to 154 Niners. And the time possession 21:56 for San Francisco, 8:04 for Chicago. And even though the Niners have the lone turnover, they're 4 for 4 when in the red zone. Let's take a look at these numbers really quick. Brock Purdy, 14-20 for 164 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Christian McCaffrey has 141 scrimmage yards in this game, 18 carries for 121 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown. Purdy, 5 carries, 23 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So the receiving corps has been pretty much split, but it's mostly Ricky Pearsall and Jake Tonjes. Pearsall, 3 catches, 57 yards. Tonjes, 6 catches, 53 yards. As for the Bears, it is Caleb Williams, 6 of 12, 108 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 2 of them to Luther Burden, 2 catches, 45 yards, 1 touchdown. 1 to Coastal Loveland, 36 yards, touchdown. Passes defense, TJ Edwards, who have a pass deflection. Jawan Johnson, who have a pass deflection of his own. 2 by Austin Booker, 1 by Jaquan Brisker. Booker also has a sack. Edmonds has the pick 6. Kyle Monangai, 3 carries, 24 yards. DeAndre Swift, 3 carries, 20 yards. And the Niners defensively don't have a sack. They have had trouble getting sacks on the season. 3 pass defense, 1 apiece by Tatum Bethune, Jair Brown, and Jordan Elliott. Now on for the scores as we begin with the Christmas Day games. Don't have a lot of importance because all but one of those teams have been eliminated entering that game. But there's one that is of importance. The Cowboys beat the Commanders 30-23 on Dak Prescott's 307 passing yards and Malik Davis 103 rushing yards. The Minnesota Vikings sweep the Detroit Lions and knock Detroit out of the playoffs. Max Brosmer had less passing yards on Christmas Day than Nikola Jokic had points against the Minnesota Timberwolves for the Denver Nuggets. 51 passing yards for Brosmer. Jared Goff threw 2 interceptions. It's been the defense that's been the name of the game for Minnesota as they relegate Detroit to last place in the NFC North. 1.5 sacks from Andrew Van Ginkel. 5 pass deflections, 3 of them from Harrison Smith, who had one of the best games of his career and the season. He also recorded an interception. Byron Murphy Jr. also had an interception in that game. The Denver Broncos had to claw their way to victory over the Chris Oladokun-led Kansas City Chiefs in what could be Travis Kelce's final game at Arrowhead Stadium. 36 receiving yards, and Bo Nix, pretty lackluster, 182 passing yards. But it's been the defense, the name of the game. It says Broncos are still alive for the 1 seed. Half a sack between Jonah Ellis and Dondrea Tillman. Just 1 pass deflection from Nick Benito. RJ Harvey had the go-ahead touchdown, and that's all. The Houston Texans 20-16 over the Los Angeles Chargers. I covered that. You can listen to the cast on Twitter Spaces on the replay. The Baltimore Ravens stay alive in the AFC North of a 41-24 win with Derrick Henry rushing for 216 yards and 4 touchdowns on 36 carries. A vintage Derrick Henry performance to hold off a 113-yard receiving night from Christian Watson on 5 catches. Malik Willis toughened up through injury in that game. Watson also had a touchdown. Willis rushed for 2 touchdowns on 9 carries, 60 yards. Earlier in this game, the Cincinnati Bengals down to Arizona Cardinals 37-14. Too little too late for them. Despite the 4 combined touchdowns from Joe Burrow / Jamar Chase and Chase Brown. The New Orleans Saints get a big win over the Tennessee Titans to get some confidence in the future with Tyler Shuck. 27 free and 33 yards. 2 touchdowns for Shuck. 8 catches or 19 yards. 1 touchdown for Chris Olave. The Jacksonville Jaguars still alive in the 1 seed race, but they have to have a lot go right for them if they were to win it. Trevor Lawrence threw an interception, but he was 23 of 37, 263 yards. He rushed for 2 touchdowns. Most of the business taken care of by Parker Washington. 8 catches, 115 yards. Travis Etienne, 17 carries, 76 yards. The Colts season is over, and they are likely to start Riley Leonard for the season finale. They started 7-1, missed the playoffs, having lost a lot of their final. They have lost 7 of their last 8. the Buccaneers' free fall continues, and they can be eliminated with a loss next week. They have already lost to the Miami Dolphins, led by Quinn Ewers. The New England Patriots defeated the New York Jets 42-10 in a huge beatdown at MetLife Stadium. Baker Mayfield, 33-44, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Jalen McMillan won 14 receiving yards. Chris Godwin won 8 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. But for Ewers and company, Ewers threw 2 touchdowns, 1 to Theo Wace Jr. and 1 to Greg Dulcich. Drake May had almost a perfect passer rating, 19-21, 256 yards, 5 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs had 6 catches for 1 yards and 1 touchdown on that game. Seattle retains the 1 seed with a 27-10 victory over the Carolina Panthers. The New York Giants get out the first pick. The Las Vegas Raiders have an 80% chance to get the first pick in the draft now. And the Philadelphia Eagles down the Buffalo Bills 13-12. And the Cleveland Browns take out older brother in the Pittsburgh Steelers. They improve to the Steelers are now 1-6-1, dating back to 2018, dating back to season after 2018 at Cleveland. Sam Darnold, they have to do a lot. So was Zach Charbonnet at his coming out party, 18 carries, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Bryce Young had his worst game of the season, 14-24, 54 yards, 1 touchdown. The Browns, with a 13-6 win, with Shedeur Sanders throwing a long touchdown to Harold Fannin Jr. It was more of the defense that held up. A sack by Grant Delpit, 1 from Alex Wright. Myles Garrett did not break the sack record today. The Steelers looked like a team that was worried more about Garrett breaking the sack record than actually winning the AFC North. The Giants getting big gains from Jackson Dart and Wan'Dale Robinson. 11 catches for 113 yards for Robinson on that victory. The Eagles hold off Josh Allen and the Bills, helping the Patriots win their first AFC East title since Tom Brady's final season with the Pats. Michael Badgley had an extra point blocked, forcing the Bills to go for 2 and a win. But Allen misfired to a wide-open Khalil Shakir. And that was the difference. Despite Allen's 23 of 45, 262 passing yard stat line. 20 carries for 74 yards was James Cook. Brandon Cooks had 4 catches for 101 yards, turning back the clock to his New Orleans days. It's the only game since 1970 in which both teams scored at least 3 touchdowns in the first 18 minutes of play. When we look at the quarterback comparison, the 3.9 average time to throw for Caleb Williams, it's been a career long for him. And the 2.9 average time to throw in terms of seconds, it's the quickest of the season for Purdy. The Niners offense is 330 yards, the most in the first half since 1998. The 141 scrimmage yards from Christian McCaffrey are the second most in a half in his career. Chicago, however, will start the ball possession, and we're about to go here for the second half here at Levi Stadium. The Niners all readied up, the Bears all readied up. Both teams know these respective situations. Here we go. The Niners are 10-0 when league at halftime this season, but the Bears may be like the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, taking out a clock and pointing at it. Oh, this is the Bears' first winning season since 2018, and this is Ben Johnson's first season as the head coach. The work that he's done with Caleb Williams has been outstanding and impressive. He's been the best thing to happen, Ben Johnson, to this franchise in this next era. Colston Loveland motions left, to the left of left tackle, to the left of the rookie left tackle, and Cole Kmet's lined up as a fullback. Play fake. Here is Williams wide open to Loveland for the first down. Immediately, the two going to work, or rather as Durham Smythe. Kyle Monungai was actually lined up as the fullback, with Loveland lined up to the left of Ozzie Trapillo, the rookie out of Boston College. Tatum Bethune wanted to prioritize zone coverage, and he was covering his own right in front of one of the Bears receivers, but didn't count for the underneath route that Durham Smythe ran. To the 45, that was a 10-yard catch and run for Smythe. First catch of this game, and Williams immediately goes to DJ Moore. How much more can things go for here for the veteran receiver? That's actually the first catch from Moore on the night. On the open slant route left side. You get the feel that he's going to find some more open receivers down for the lane, and that time he did. Burden motions all the way to the right, the rookie out of Mizzou. Up the middle for Monungai and a first down. 5 yards. To the 42-yard line in San Francisco territory. Thanks for the hold set up by Jonah Jackson. DeAndre Swift, another short king among this running back group. A lot of short kings among the Bears running back group. Swift and Monungai, 5'8". As opposed to the Niners running back group, which are more taller. Robinson, 6'1", McCaffrey, 5'11". Now they do have a short king in Jordan James, 5'9". On first down, this will be a handoff to Monungai. Immediately bunched up alive. Loss of 3. Sam Okwayunu. Okwayanu. Excuse me. Sam Okwayanu. Got by Darnell Wright, the right tackle. Shedding off the block. Burden motions towards the right. And on 2nd and 12, Williams immediately connects with him, falls down, and tagged by D. Winters. Disaster after Burden fell down. Looked to be a screen set, but there was nothing there. 3rd and 14. The offensive line from the Niners is getting set to go. Now things get more interesting. And you would anticipate that the Bears would go for a deep strike, but they have yet to convert a 3rd down. 0 for 3 on the night. Average of 4.7 yards ago. And this 3rd and long is not going to do any well for their averages tonight. Shotgun to left. I believe it's trips left, 1 right. 3rd and 14. Williams pairs it out right side. Caught by Ja'Day Walker. And the first 3rd down conversion of the night for the Bears goes for 19 yards. Walker coming off the biggest catch of his life last week when he tied the game against the Packers. The rookie out of Texas A&M finds himself wide open at the 32. A guy that they spent some time together over the offseason. The 2 catches and 21 yards and a touchdown were all first of his career last week against Green Bay at Soldier Field. Play fake to Monungai. Williams rolls out, dumps off left side, first down and then some for Luther Burden onto the red zone near the 3-yard line. The rookie out of Mizzou is getting things done for Chicago. 7 plays, 62 yards, and the Bears going methodical this time, as opposed to going with the big play. It is a PA rollout left side, and Williams knew what to expect out of his guy, Luther Burden. Late substitution for the Niners, and the Bears trying to catch them up, but the substitutions were in time. Monungai rumbles it up, stopped at the 2 by Elliott. The Niners had to run 3 players off the field late. One of them being Luke Gifford, the 7th-year linebacker out of Nebraska. But both of these teams want to prove that they belong in terms of explosive offenses. And while defenses are works in progress among both teams, Robert Saleh knows how to bring the most out of his defense on any day. second and goal. Two receivers split out wide to the right. Moore and Walker. They'll give it. And it's overthrown. Intended for Moore. Jair Brown in coverage. And it's third and goal. A good opening drive to this game for Jair Brown. And on the play, he knew that it was going to be thrown towards him. It was over his head in the end. It's Williams off target to Moore. What's the play now for the Bears? Third and goal. And you wonder what they're going to run. It's a heavy set. They're going to go with DeAndre Swift. Gets the block from Jackson. He's in for the touchdown. DeAndre Swift rumbles this in from 2 yards out. The assist to Jonah Jackson, the right guard. And they get it done on the 10th play of this drive. Another block on the edge or the outside from Durham Smythe to cut off Keon White. And everybody knew the assignment. Jackson gets pulled from the right guard side as the lead blocker. They get this game within 1 of tying this game up for Chicago. 9:51 left in the third. With the extra point. Down the middle through the uprights. We're tied again. 28 all. Janae Walker with a crucial third down conversion, the first of the game for the Bears. It results in a tie game again. We'll be back. In this back and forth contest, these two teams are exchanging touchdowns, no matter the method. Pick six, on the run, through the air. How would you like it? How would you have it served? What way would you want it? There are some statues over at Levi Stadium that depict the nice memories in 49ers franchise history. Dwight Clark's iconic catch, Terrell Owens' catch. And you know, it's the catch 1 with Dwight Clark, the catch 2 with Terrell Owens, and then the catch 3 with Vernon Davis. All with different quarterbacks in the history. Of course, Santos boots it to the end zone and is a touchback. It is touched up there by Sky Moore or Brian Robinson Jr. So of course, when we look at throughout the history, Joe Montana, Steve Young, even you think of Jeff Garcia, Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick, Now Brock Purdy under the helm after some years with Jimmy Garoppolo. Getting the running game going has been something the Niners want to do here. Kyle Juszczyk has been utilized the most among fullbacks this season, 45% of the time. Tonight's been utilized 49% of the time. He's on the bench to begin this drive for San Francisco as Purdy looks towards the left side. Wide open. It is Kendrick Bourne into Chicago territory. Advanced ahead. Done more by C.J. Gardner-Johnson inadvertently. And the Niners are off swinging and dealing here to start this drive. 25 yards worth of it. In this back and forth shootout. A little handshake and a little outside movement on the deep out route from Bourne, who is in his second stint with the team. McCaffrey on the handoff through a narrow hole. He makes 4 yards out of it. And of course, as we know of Brock Purdy and Kendrick Bourne, who got himself a payday, who secured the bag. He forgot to keep the ball at the end of it. That's the only bad thing about that celebration when he secured his payday on the bonuses that he got from his third down catch last week against the Colts. 2nd and 6. Another single back set. McCaffrey runs left, gains the edge, jumps ahead. And he gets the first down, lunging ahead of Tremaine Edmonds. If he gets to 600 yards, that's another bonus for Bourne. He's handling the expenses that he already has. He's got to 500 yards. That's one bonus. One catch, 25 yards. So now he is now 49 yards away from another set of bonuses. Single back again. This time it is Robinson. Motioning left is Pearsall. Play fake to Robinson. Purdy underneath to Juszczyk. Juszczyk for 8 yards as he was wrapped up by Brisker. Second-year man out of Penn State. Or fourth-year man out of Penn State, excuse me. 26 years old on that matter. And there's an injured Bear looking at the leg. I think that's Noah Sewell. So this linebacker is going to be looked by the training staff. We're going to step away. Still here with you. It was Noah Sewell who was injured for the Bears. They were looking at him on the knee. And his brother Penny Sewell was drafted by the Lions 7th overall in 2021. Another brother, Nefi, currently plays for the New Orleans Saints. He was carted off the field as he was trying to go one-on-one with Colton McKivitz on the right tackle side. He's one of 4 brothers of the Sewell brothers. Penny Sewell, Noah Sewell, Nefi Sewell. Kyle Juszczyk motions left. McCaffrey gets the run and rumbles for the first down. To the 17-yard line, that's going to be 5 yards. Before being brought down by Jervon Dexter. He's been all over the field throughout the night. And the Niners are in the red zone again. Are they going to make it 5 for 5? Converting it into touchdowns. They fared nicely so far in the red zone. Making a perfect 4 for 4. And once again, it's McCaffrey, single back. Juszczyk, the motion man, left side. Play fake to him. Purdy, flag down, Tunges the catch. We'll have to check out the penalty as Edwards the tackle at the 13. Edwards hit the pick 6 on the opening drive. And they're going to be pointing towards Chicago. We're still waiting on the call from Alex Moore. It's an offside penalty on Austin Booker, as Alex Moore ruled it. Booker, who had 2 pass deflections and a big sack on the Bears. For costly offsides penalty, it's now 1st and 5. They accepted the penalty. Juszczyk lined up as a tight end left. On the right side is Jawan Jennings. Juszczyk's in motion towards the right side. They like to go with that a lot. And McCaffrey, this time, forced back at the line of scrimmage by Dexter. Taking the second round. Carved out a nice role as a defensive tackle. Third-year man out of Florida. Grady Jarrett having a career revival as the other defensive tackle with the Bears, and he can line up anywhere on either defensive tackle side. 2nd and 5. They're going empty set here. 3 left and 2 right. Motioning back to the left side is Brian Robinson Jr. Purdy swings it out for Robinson with the block from Juszczyk. Cuts inside. Powers ahead. He has the first down. A hard-fought one. Got by the initial contact and fought off Nashawn Wright to set up 1st and goal. And give Brock Purdy credit. He saw the pressure coming and throws it right above Booker, who has been batting down everything that he sees. Thrown towards his way. And that time Purdy elevated it to get it above of his hands to buy Robinson some time. Pistol set, or rather an eye set. Juszczyk the fullback, Robinson the running back. They just got the play off on time. It's a play fake. Purdy, pump fakes. So serving. Booker's on him. Gets away from him. Now folks it up for Juszczyk. Oh my! Razzle dazzle! Brock Purdy! Touchdown Niners! The play starts on the PA rollout, and Purdy was under duress by both Booker and Billings. Dances around and makes absolute fools out of the both of them. Dances around at that left side, buying time for himself to find Juszczyk all alone. The extra point's good. How about Brock Purdy? My, oh my. He's making this his own playground, you know? We'll be right back here from Levi Stadium. It's very interesting, the contrasting stories between these two. Caleb Williams, first pick of his draft. Brock Purdy, last pick of his draft. Williams hyped up to be the next big face of the Chicago Bears. Purdy labeled as Mr. Irrelevant. And now he is Mr. Relevant, making the most out of this opportunity. One of the most successful Mr. Irrelevant stories in NFL history, if not the most successful. And Purdy looking a little like Ben Roethlisberger and Patrick Mahomes out onto the left side with the dancing around. Maybe throwing a little Josh Allen or Cam Newton into it as well. For that. Well, dang. How about that? 35-28. The Niners lead it. I'm Alec Nava here on the play-by-play. Week 17 action on Sunday night. 4:52 left in this third quarter. How do the Bears answer back? For the far side, this is returned by Blackwell. Tripped up. And down he goes at the 20. That's where the Bears will start. And Caleb Williams has had himself a nice night too. 2 deep strikes. And the deep ball has been his specialty throughout. And he continues to make these kinds of risky throws. Well, now, with the magic that he provides with Chicago, he loves the deep ball. And he'll continue doing that for as much as he can do. 11 of 18, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. Motion man is Devin Duvernay. Hand off up the middle for Swift. And he'll get 5 yards out of this run. 2 to 24, or rather, that's 4 yards. And the Bears are having success running it, no matter who it is, between Swift or Monangai. And do remember, they don't have Roschon Johnson because he was placed on the injured reserve. 12 rushes, 18 passes for the Bears in this game. Williams on the play fake, finding Swift underneath. First down, shakes up 1 tackle, gets 10 yards out of it. They said 5 yards on the first one from Swift. And this catch and run went for 10 yards on this run. Sidearm from Williams. And finding it through the middle of this field, taking what the defense is giving him. And he's making the smart decisions from the pocket. And taking what is given to him. That time, he took what was given to him. They're underneath. They're at the 35 now. More motions all the way to the left. Draw play, Swift. 2 yards. C.J. West, the tackle. And John Lynch, the general manager of the 49ers, has constructed Super Bowl contending team after Super Bowl contending team. It hasn't resulted in a Super Bowls, but even though they made it to 2 appearances, you think that they may be good enough to make it all the way. Question is, if they can be able to beat some of the top teams in the NFL, such as the Seahawks, the Rams, and Williams throws it. Upton Stout. No flag thrown. 3rd and 8. Stout, the slot corner for the Niners, was the one in coverage on Moore, the rookie out of Western Kentucky, taking care of business. And if Stout fell down, Williams may have been off target. And with the game on the line, you know some clutch situations can come here and about. 3:02 left in the third quarter. Williams on a shotgun look. Burden in motion right side. Niners blitz. Williams rolls out towards the left side. He's going to throw it. Flag is down. Caught at the 36-yard line by Burden. We'll check the penalty marker. It's at the line of scrimmage. That's against Bryce Huff. It is obviously decline. And Burden, of course, will take the yards given to him. And once again, it's the quarterback show. And Williams, of course, sensing the pressure, he wants to get up out of there and scampers onto the open Burden, who is right in front of Williams, finding him right on cue on the deep out route. Slides there, Just a second third down conversion, and Caleb is at 204 passing yards. Durham Smythe motions to the fullback position, weak side eye. It's a give to Swift, and there's a bunch of nothing there. Lost 2 is Tatum Bethune, second-year man out of Florida State. 2nd and 12. Efficiency matters all throughout. And of course, with Swift and Monongai making the most out of their opportunities, you want to keep giving them more. But you want to hit the ball on the hands of your quarterback, which is Williams, who has it. And he throws it to Walker. Close to a first down. He is a yard shy. It is 3rd and 1. And you'd imagine that at this point, you could be comfortable running it up for the middle. Unless you have a different idea on your plans. Walker has been seeing his role elevated throughout. And his biggest role being that catch for the game-tying touchdown last week for the Bears against the Packers. The rookie out of Texas A&M. Their lineup in a weak side eye set. 3rd and 1. Jumbo package. Motioning left is Kmet. Give to Swift. Swift fighting for the first down. There is a flag down behind the line of scrimmage. And this looks like it's going to come back, holding on the Bears. Ozzie Trapillo, the second-round pick, starting at left tackle, who was in place for Theo Benedette in his first year out of UBC in Canada. You can't make his life harder for your own guys. It's only going to make life easier for the Niner defense. Trapillo, second-round pick out of Boston College. Doing the most out of his opportunity. A field goal from here would be from 55 yards. They're at the San Francisco 37. Shotgun set with 3 receivers right and 1 left. Williams trying to make up for most of the lost yardage as he can. He's going to run with it. Gets a block and runs into his old man Swift. He is short. He's at the 31-yard line, so it'll be a 49-yard field goal. Not much of a field goal game here. And Ben Johnson's going to pass up for the field goal. The recommendation is field goal, but Ben Johnson knows his stakes. Knowing that the 1 seed is on the line, you could opt for something else. Hard count could be an option. 4th and 5. Are they going to go for it? And yes, they will. Niners blitz on 4th and 5, and it is caught by Colston Loveland. The gamble pays off. Ben Johnson with lessons learned from Dan Campbell. 10 yards for Kmet. And the Bears still in position for a touchdown when we head into the 4th quarter. There's a lot on the line for both Chicago and San Francisco. 35-28 when we start the 4th here at Santa Clara when we return. Levi Stadium prepared for this fourth quarter. This has been a shootout between both teams. 35-28 here at the start of the fourth. That's the Niners' lead right now. But none of it is safe because the Bears have been the cardiac kings. 6 wins in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. The most in NFL history in any single season. DJ Moore motions left, and here's the give to DeAndre Swift, who gets away from one man, and he rumbles in for another touchdown! How about that? It's a fireworks show at the Bay. Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet making the most out of the situation. That is a run blocking assignment. And Swift, knowing that Christian McCaffrey can force missed tackles, he does one of his own. 80 yards for the score for Chicago. This is shaping up to be one of the best games of the entire season. One extra point away from being 35-35. And there it is. And by the way, this has happened once in the postseason, but never in the regular season. This is the first time in NFL history in which we've been tied 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28, and now 35-35. It's a key block set up on the inside by Kmet and Loveland to set up that rushing lane for Swift to go through. Excellent run blocking all the way. Kmet right on Tatum Bethune. If this is a playoff preview, oh boy, we've been treated to one. It's one of the best games of the entire year. Oh man. And 6 seconds into the fourth quarter, everybody is making things happen here between San Francisco and Chicago. Back and forth in this playoff preview of a game. If we're getting a preview between these two teams. Fielded at the 2 by Sky Moore. Up for the middle. Tripped up and down at the 31. Or 32. It all depends on the spot of where we return this ball. But we can anticipate more fireworks coming here. The Bears clinched to the number 1 seed with a win tonight. And a win in Week 18 against Detroit. And a Seattle loss next week at San Francisco. The Niners' path to clinching the number 1 seed is by winning both this week and next week. No outside help from anyone. From under center, on a single back, Purdy on the play fake, rolls out left side, wide open. Pearsall takes it for 8 yards. And immediately, the Niners are up and rolling. Both teams have combined for 10 touchdowns on the game. Who needs the field goal when you can go touchdown, 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 touchdown? Purdy is the first Niners player with at least 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns in a game since Colin Kaepernick. Some phenomenal stuff from BCB. Free play here for the Niners as McCaffrey rumbles for the first down. So they may not need the free play. And it looks like TJ Edwards got ran over. They're actually going to call it holding on Dominic Pooney, the right guard. They thought it was going to be the flag for the free play. Instead, it was for the hold by Pooney. He got his defender off balance. So that'll be a loss of 10 on the play. Grab that back shoulder of Andrew Billings. One of two defensive tackles on the Bears. So he'll sub out. Grady Jarrett comes in. Bears show blitz. McCaffrey motions to the left. Juszczyk is lined up as the fullback next to Purdy left side. One left and three right. Bears send four as they fake the blitz. Purdy steps away from the pressure. Dances away from Booker. Purdy pump fakes and runs it out. Takes it about 4 or 5 yards. It's much more manageable here in this spot. 3rd and 7, as they said, 5 yards on that run for Purdy. The Bears defense trying to catch up, but Purdy has been known for being elusive. And even though he's more of a passer than a runner, he's showcasing himself as a runner in this game. McCaffrey motions all the way to the right. Bears send 4. Purdy stepping up, firing deep. Caught by Pearsall. Past midfield. And right onto Bears territory. 20 yards for Ricky P. And Santa Clara is rising up. It was a fake blitz by the Bears. And Purdy with a lot of time to throw it down through the middle. Of course, you want to utilize the middle of the field. When receivers get open at the middle, that's when you make magic happen. Pearsall made the most of that, cutting to the in route on the deep side. Pearsall, their former first-round pick, making the most of his opportunities. Trips left, one right. Purdy pump fakes and fires a shot down the right side. Overthrown. Pearsall blanketed by Stevenson. Just the 7th incompletion of the game for Brock Purdy. It is tight coverage in between one-on-one. It was Stevenson, the third-year man out of Miami, Florida. At some moment, there are going to be defenders who are going to insert blanket coverage one-on-one with the receiver. Run to the right for Brian Robinson Jr. Wrapped up by Dexter, who was helped out by several linemen, but forward progress is stopped. 4 yards. It is Dexter, the initial stuff, and he'll sub out for what's going to be a passing down. 3rd and 6. The Bears have recorded 22 interceptions. That is the majority, that's the most in the league. The 32 takeaways are also the most in the league. They're one of the best defenses, if not the best defense, in forcing turnovers. Yet they're middle of the pack everywhere else. Bears blitz here, 3rd and 7. Purdy under duress. And they force an incompletion. They finally get a defensive stop. And they're going to send Thomas Morstead out for just the 2nd time tonight. And who else? Austin Booker. The backup left tackle, Austin Pleasance, gets beat out by Booker. And it was Booker who forced the pressure as Pleasance gets lost in the shuffle. That's when the absence of Trent Williams could really hurt. This will be Morstead's 1,000th career punt. He has not punted in a month up until this game. And Morstead have a low sky kick, and this will be a fair catch at the 11-yard line. And the older you get, the smarter you become. Devin Duvernay with a fair catch at the 11. That's where the Bears will begin their next drive. Can the Niners answer back with a stop at their own? Find out when we return. 35-35. The Bears defense finally gets a stop. The Niners defense wanted to answer back with a stop at their own. The touchdowns come from TJ Edwards, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, and 2 from DeAndre Swift on Chicago's side. Brock Purdy with 2 rushing touchdowns, Christian McCaffrey with 1, Jake Tunges, and Kyle Juszczyk with the touchdowns for San Francisco. The Bears have to go 89 yards for Pater again. They found Pater 5 times. We're tied at 35. Niners send 5. Wide open at the right side is Burden, who's having the game of his life. And he takes this to the 36. 25 big ones for the Mizzou Tiger. Romo Dunze is loving that. The all-out blitz comes from all angles. As San Francisco wanted to intend to do that on the all-out blitz. That left Burden wide open at the right side. Nobody covered. San Francisco wanted to take advantage of their blitz package. But when you have trouble getting to the quarterback, it's not going to result in a lot of sacks. On the motion right, it is Kmet. Williams on the rollout. Williams running out of time. And he gets held up once. Evades the pocket. And forced out finally. On a 3-yard run on the left side. That was Jason Pinnock who forced him out after Williams juked out Sam Okrayin-Hionu. Still learning to pronounce that last name. But he comes from Monrovia, Liberia. And it's his 3rd year out of Maryland. Stepping in the absence of Nick Bosa and Michael Williams. Kyle Monangai over towards the left side. He is met once, dragged down on the second effort, very close to a first down. Alfred Collins there after Monangai shook off the initial tackle from D. Winters, the 3rd-year man from TCU. And we're looking at another injury that is Upton Stout, who walked into the medical tent with a concussion specialist, so is being evaluated for concussion. 3rd and short. 3rd and 1, which is very manageable. Defense getting themselves ready against the run. Can we see a trick up his sleeve? They're going to sneak it. And it's 4 yards for Caleb. A no-doubter of a first down. What a whole setup on the left side. It's a traditional sneak, not the tush push. And so this drive continues. 35-35 with 9 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. The Bears trying to hand the 49ers their first loss of the season after leading after 30 minutes. Through 1 half. It's 35-35. Strong side I this time. Love one motions left. It's a play fake to Monangai. Now it's Williams. Airing this out left side. Got his man Loveland. Inside the red zone again. That is money in the bank. 32 yards. Williams to Loveland. The Niners anticipated the Bears dropping down, but they went with the wheel route. Williams knew what is coming, and he threw a money strike to Loveland. 32 yards at the Niner 18. Back and forth we go between these two teams. They marked it down at the 20-yard line, so it's 30 yards officially. Nonetheless, they're in the red zone. Devin Duvernay in motion. Toss to Monangai, but the play is blown dead. There is a flag out. Delay of game. And you can see the visible frustration from the Bears offense, especially Caleb Williams, as he wanted to get the play clock off. Of course, the officials were not having any of that. They saw that the play clock ran all the way down. So they're forced out of the red zone, 2-25. 6 penalty against the Bears in this game. The Niners have had 3 penalties against them. Terry Killens, the umpire, giving everybody a signal. I set for Chicago. 1 receiver out left. The tight end Loveland to the right. Durham Smythe lined up as the fullback. It is Monangai on the give. Inside. And that is 4 yards. Flying down for the safety spot was Pinnock. That was Mustafa. Both safeties were flying down, anticipating the run to the inside. It is a strong side I set with Durham Smythe lined up as the fullback. CJ West stepped up right outside of it. Mustafa anticipated the run, knowing that it was coming. Second and 11 is more manageable now. After that penalty, shotgun set, 2 receivers right, and motioning to the left is Loveland, to the left of the left tackle. They go to Monongai. Take it out of bounds to the 20. And a late flag comes in. D. Winters with the stuff. This penalty fest has been going on for a while now. Tatum Bethune, I think, was there. There was pushing and shoving after the matter of fact. And, ooh, a grab onto the face mask on Colston Loveland. And that was the pull with the face mask from Bethune that gave the Bears a free first down and a chance to take their first lead since the TJ Edwards pick 6. In the back and forth game, and Kyle Shanahan upset because you cannot afford penalties like that, especially in a game like this. So now, with 7 minutes to go, the Bears have a chance to take the lead. But of course, that's low enough time for the Niners to do anything. It's a rollout play for Williams, who'll dump off right side for Loveland. Met by Lenore. 2 yards for Loveland as he had no space to run. Nicely covered that time. 6:35 to go here in the fourth quarter. It is crunch time between the two. Robert Sala's defense, Ben Johnson's offense. With Declan Doyle, the offensive coordinator, the Bears are picking up on time of possession as well, which is a consequence of what is being scored. And then consequently, it's being shown on the score line too. Motioning right is Komet. Another play fake to Monongai. Underhanded shovel to him. And the Niners read it well. Kalia Davis was right on him. Loss of 1 on the play. It is 3rd and goal. Caleb wanted to go with the underhanded shovel pass, but the Niners were not buying for that trick play. Davis read it well, forcing a loss of 1. Or a loss of 2, rather. It's 3rd and goal from the 11. If the Niners can hold the Bears to a field goal, then that will be a win for them. Janae Walker motions all the way to the left. Caleb Williams, to who he go to. He'll dump off. Overthrown! Almost intercepted! It looked to be a long run to the end zone for Chase Lucas, the third-year man out of Arizona State. And at the end of this check down, the lob pass to Monongai and the check and release. It was over him. Lucas thought he had the pick 6 to him. But inadvertently, Monongai may have prevented that with that arm up on the deflection. First field goal of this game coming from Cairo Santos, right hash 29 yards, and the kick is good. And for the first time since TJ Edwards pick 6, the Bears have a lead in this game with 5:22 to go. So now, with everything coming down to the wire, does Brock Purdy have one more left in him? And does the Niners defense have a stop with them? We'll be right back. 38-35 with 5:22 left in the fourth quarter. The Bears lead for the first time since the first quarter. The last Super Bowl that was hosted here, Peyton Manning rode off into the sunset with his Denver Broncos getting in the 24-10 victory over the Carolina Panthers. We're on a magical 15-win season. The Broncos getting the proper send-off to a legend. And what was it is his final game of his lengthy NFL career. And while his statistics were not that spectacular, his last pass went to Benny Fowler, a 2-point conversion. Squib kick for Santos, and it's dropped by Moore. He picks it up and advances ahead to the 25. Cairo Santos with a nice squib kick. And some dirty moves. How about Brock Purdy? As he was toying with Austin Booker. Not once, but twice. As with the rushing touchdowns, he did that twice as he was toying with him. And on the third one, it was a passing touchdown, which he found a wide open Kyle Juszczyk when he bought out himself time. 6 rushes, 28 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Purdy. Play fake? No, it's a run to the right side for McCaffrey, who tries to get some extra yardage and gets 5 yards out of it. But just less than 5:30, it's an eternity and a half for the 49ers. McCaffrey playing through some pain on the night, but he's going to fight off of it. 23 carries, 140 yards for CMC. And Ricky Pearsall, 5 catches, 85 yards. He's yet to catch a touchdown. He looks like a threat to catch the potential go-ahead touchdown for the Niners. Purdy to throw as the Bears blitz on 2nd and 6. Dancing around the pocket, now sends it off. Broken up by C.J. Gardner-Johnson. McCaffrey to target. The latter wants a flag. No call here. 3rd and 6. Gardner-Johnson's been doing everything as a high-fly, nickel quarter / safety. And that the Bears can rely on. And wherever he's went, he's been reliable all throughout. And now his actual coverage. Motioning right is Jawan Jennings. He's been quiet tonight. Do we see something from him? Bears send 5. And Purdy, under duress, sends it on a dump off to Tunges. Lunges for the first down. 6 yards. Being wrapped up by Edwards. With 4:20 left in regulation, the Niners either going for a game-time field goal or the go-ahead touchdown. Knowing the stakes, you think that the latter could be more plausible. And Purdy knows the stakes. Jake Tunges, who hasn't been targeted a lot ever since the first quarter. He is targeted the most. He gets a 7 catch, 60 yards total. Straight drop back for Purdy. He'll step up and fire underneath for McCaffrey. Immediately tackled as he caught it by Edwards and Edmonds. Tongue twister among the both over the linebackers. It's 3 yards for CMC. As he continues to rack up the scrimmage yards. 2nd and 7. The 2 inside linebackers knew that it was going to be an underneath route for McCaffrey. And took care of business there. 2nd and 7. They'll break out the huddle. And even if the Niners win, the question is, will they have Trent Williams available next week? Purdy on the shotgun, dumps off right side and dropped. Jake Tunges had the drop, but wait a minute, a flag is out. We'll check the penalty from Alex Moore. It's a free first down, illegal use of hands. A huge penalty that the Niners will accept. Hands to the face. We didn't get the number on it, but getting the pass rush going. That is a big mistake by Jervon Dexter Sr. He got the hands up onto the face of the left guard Spencer Burford. Easy to see. It is Dexter getting called for that penalty. Single back set. as Juszczyk motions left. They've gone along with that rollout for Juszczyk as it's McCaffrey on the screen right side, PA side. First down and then some. Cuts around Dexter. Ragdolled out of bounds with 3:04. That stops the clock and gives the Niners well enough time to prepare. The PA bootleg has worked to near perfection for San Francisco throughout this game. They sold out the bootleg left. So they went with McCaffrey onto the right to set up the screen. And there you have it. Christian McCaffrey gets more going with Colton McKivitz and Dominic Pooty setting the blocks up on the right side. Warren 81 total yards on the night for CMC. Here is Robinson this time. Met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Edwards and Jarrett there. We could see McCaffrey coming back, but he is fighting off of obvious pain. He's been targeted a lot, and he's got the brunt of the workload. 23 carries, 140 yards. He has 4 catches, 41 yards. So a total of 181 scrimmage yards for him. Targeted 6 times on the night. 6 plays, 37 yards as the drive continues to roll. Clock continues to run. Now the question is, are they going to settle for the field goal or are they going to get a touchdown? Here is Purdy. Gonna line one up for the middle. Wide open is Jennings. Jennings to the edge. Has the block and the touchdown. Mr. Reliable. Jawan Jennings. The linebackers react to Jake Tonjes underneath. Jawan Jennings goes to the second level. Purdy finds him on a pass that was right above those linebackers, right on the money. Beating out the hands from Chris Williams and getting the block from Ricky Pearsall at the end, which was huge to set that up. Now the question, do the Niners have a defensive stop? Remember, the Bears have the most wins of any NFL season when drilling in the final 2 minutes. The extra point's good. But now, the biggest question. We'll be right back in a moment. Do the Bears have another win in them in the final 2 minutes? It would be 7, which would be earth-shattering. They already have 6. They're going to this stairway to 7 right before the playoffs. We'll be right back. Niners lead, 42-38. count out this man. Caleb Williams, 20 of 29, 281 yards and 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey had a monster night, 181 total yards and a touchdown. Luther Burden has his true breakout game that he's been looking for. 6 catches, 190 yards and a touchdown. Brock Purdy accounted for 5 total touchdowns, 3 and 3 passing yards. And all he has that pick 6 to begin the game. He was unbothered by it. 42-38. The Niners lead tonight. 2:15 to go in the fourth. Chicago trying to pull up a 7th fourth quarter victory in the final 2 minutes. Does Eddie Pinheiro go with the squib kick that Cairo Santos did previously? He will not. This will be fielded at the end zone and a knee down. And the Bears will start for the 35. So now the Chicago will have a chance to get another come from behind victory. And more of that one score magic, late game magic that is on the mind. With one score games that happened against the Raiders, Commanders, Saints, Bengals, Giants, Vikings, Steelers, and just last week against the Packers. Those are their 8 one-score victories throughout the season for the Bears. With they snag victory from the jaws of defeat. The first play is a run for DeAndre Swift, and he gets this to the 40-yard line for 5 yards. Chicago has all 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning, which is coming up next. So the Bears will have time to think about when we come back. Do they have another game-winning drive out of them? They need a touchdown. The Bears have controlled the second half. Can they answer? Find out when we return. Niners lead 42-38. Final 2 minutes of this exciting contest. Chicago must score a touchdown. They cannot go for field goal. It is 2nd and 5 from their own 40-yard line. And do remember, Eddie Pinheiro kicked the ball off to the end zone, so the ball was brought out to the 35-yard line. Chicago has 6 wins when trailing in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, the most of the season in NFL history, trying to go for 7 on the year. And they know everything that's at stake. The 1 seed we're fighting for. San Francisco must win tonight and win next week for a shot at the NFC West. For that, they must hold on with a defensive presence, with a defensive stop. 2nd and 5, Williams dropping back. Well protected, throws it out right side. Incomplete, underthrown. Nice force, but a flag comes out. It's over to secondary, so it's going to be a first down. That's Chase Lucas for the defensive hold. That's going to bring the ball to the 45-yard line. And he's in the game because of the injury to Upton Stout. And he's also in the game because Renardo Green ruled out for this game of a neck injury. Of course, you could have gotten Darrell Luter Jr. or Chase Lucas for defensive holding. On either side, they have confirmed that penalty. The Bears get a free first down out of it. Shotgun set. Motioning left is Burden. He's going to go into the slot left side. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Swift is the running back right side. Williams towards the middle is tipped up at the line and falls incomplete. Nobody in the area of where it was tipped to. Alfred Collins, the rookie, with the tip. Rookie out of Texas. Stopping the clock at 1:51. That's what they needed from their defensive line when he was drafted. Collins bats it up. And the 300-pound plus guy is getting interior pressure. And with the pass rusher, the in-your-face mentality. 2nd and 10. D. Winters one-on-one with Colston Loveland. To left and to right, shotgun set. Niners send 4 again on Williams. Throws right on Swift, trying to go for the first down. He's short. Stopped by Lucas. And the clock continues to roll. They're not taking a timeout. 3rd and 4. They're going no huddle. 135, 134, 133. They break out. Loveland is going towards the left side. They're using the tight ends as wide receivers. 126, 125. Late defensive substitution for the Niners. And a timeout finally called. 124 to go. And because of the confusion, the Niners are going to call timeout. For all that confusion, so as to get their defensive substitution set. The tough thing is that if you get into one of those looks, and you might not be able to do much if you get the ball back with those timeouts if you want to be able to look at some plays. Caleb Williams is close to 300 yards passing. He's at 287. Luther Burden has 119 receiving yards on the day. Monangai comes in as the running back. Moore and Walker are the outside receivers. They could be looking at targeting, going after the 2 outside corners, Lucas or Luter. Either of those two, Lucas or Luter. They're wanting to stay away from Diamador Lenore. Niners showing blitz. They send the blitz after Caleb Williams. Flushed out towards the right side. He's going to use his legs to get the first down. And he goes to the sideline. 5 yards. Stopping the clock. 1:17 left. D. Winters faked the blitz, wanting to go after Monangai. Closed him off, but that allows Williams to get the first down. He turned upwards with the ball. That allows the Bears to go on the huddle for this next play. Do they go with the big play this time around? And will they risk that, knowing that they're going to get the ball back to San Francisco with well enough time to do something for a field goal? 1:17 left, and motioning right is DJ Moore. Niners blitz again. And it's dropped by Loveland on the right side. Clock stops with 1:13. First drop of the day by Loveland. He was the one who caught the second deep touchdown from Caleb Williams in this game. And one of the rare mistakes that he makes. He was the first tight end taken in his draft, with Tyler Warren going after him to the Colts. That was an on-target throw by Caleb. Fred Warner's on the sideline here. 2 left and 2 right. Niners send 4 this time. Williams towards the middle. Overthrown to Komet. That was over the head of Mustafa, who was in coverage as well. And it's 3rd and 10. The Bears have turned it on the second half on 3rd down conversions. The Niners need a stop if they were to hold on. 42-38. The Niners had a spy over the middle of the field. That time around, they could use that again. And Winters, wearing number 53, with a pick 6 against the Colts. Nice little homage to Navarro Bowman. That time around, as Burden motions all the way to the right. Williams throws to him, wide open, crosses up Lucas, first down, trying to take it out, tackled inbounds at the 30, 1 minute left, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. They're saving all 3 timeouts, 55, 54, 53, 52. They're going quick here, 50 seconds left. Shotgun set 2 left and 2 right. The tackle is at the 31.5, they get off of 44. Williams looks left side, caught, Burden at the 26, timeout, 39 seconds. Luther Burden was drafted in the earlier rounds because of his route running ability and his play that he can make. Back to back as he crosses up Chase Lucas and lets him go all the way towards the 31.5. And then again, as he motions, as he digs around, drawing the coverage from Lucas. It was man on man that time around, hound for Ben Johnson and company, which they use a lot. It's another Shanahan specialty, but a Johnson specialty too. 8 catches, 138 yards, and 1 touchdown. The clock resets to 40 seconds. A true breakout game for Luther Burden. The running back is DeAndre Swift. 2nd and 5, with 2 receivers left and 3 right. Or rather 2 right, excuse me. Swift is to the right of Williams. Niners send the house after him. Pressured, gets it off, short of Duvernay. It bounces short of him. It's 3rd and 5, clock stops, 36 seconds left. And the pressure worked that time around for San Francisco. Even though they are last in the league in sacks, they got the pressure off. Something that they lack consistently. Bryce Huff was also held on the play. And Duvernay was also wide open. But with Williams getting a free rusher to his face, he didn't have time to react. DJ Moore's on the sideline for this play. 2 tight ends, Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet, are out towards the left in trips formation with Luther Burden. Janae Walker's all alone to the right. Now Burden motions right with Lucas coming to him. Williams, here they come, and it's broken up! Chase Lucas brought the boom on Burden this time. The Bears now down to the last gasp of air on 4th and 5. They need to convert it. That was actually a drop by Burden. You want to have your best playmakers make the best plays, but that was one that he absolutely should have had, and it was dropped. Ben Johnson's going to take a timeout for us to drop one play on 4th and 5, or what to make with 33 seconds left. But in these situations, you must work the sidelines. Throw outside. Go to your best playmakers. Burden and more you think of. And the type of ability that Caleb Williams has will dictate a long way for how this game will go. 33 seconds, 4th and 5. Of course, his specialty being the deep balls. You will love to see more out of him. 42-38. San Francisco leads, 33 seconds left. The game comes down to this play. Colston Loveland would usually be one of the go-to guys for the Bears in such a situation. They must get the first down. Line of scrimmage is the 26. The marker is the 21.5. You gotta have the shotgun set. 2 right, 2 left. Motioning right is Duvernay. Niners bring 4. Williams towards the right side. Wide open is Loveland. Just like it was drawn up. And it's a first down. The game continues. 25 seconds left. Chicago's not done yet. One of the problems with faking blitz is that you leave a lot of space back deep. And you have a lot of space to work with, which leaves the holes open up. Williams saw the hole that Love One and exposed through, with Winters dropping back in coverage after the fake blitz. And a very tough look by San Francisco. And with 26 seconds left, the Niners, who have not done well at generating takeaways throughout the season, need to have one here. The good news is that they had 9 takeaways in the last 5 games, but they need to have one here and right now if they were to preserve this and get the win. 3 left, 1 right. Williams. Walker's open, but he's pressured. Folks one towards the end zone. Nobody's there. 21 seconds left. The pressure was coming from the left side of Williams. Clock stops. 21 seconds. Again, even though it's not the sacks for San Francisco that have been coming in, it's the pressure in which Williams has been feeling, in which it makes him uncomfortable. And you're going to have him and force him to take shots when he's most uncomfortable. 42-38, Niners lead. Game on the line, 2nd and 10. Here's Williams. Niners rushing forward towards the right side. Hook and ladder play! Up towards the right side! Down! At the 3! They need to get to spike the ball. Are they able to get it? 7 seconds. Ball is set. 5 seconds. Clock is stopped with 4. And the Bears will have 1 gasp of air left, barring a defensive penalty with 4 seconds to go. The game basically comes down to this. They need 2.5 yards to win it. Diamador Lenore with a huge tackle after the hook and ladder from Coastal Love One to DeAndre Swift. Lenore preserves a touchdown. And we're down to this spot. 2nd and goal. Get your popcorn out. Are the Bears going to do it again? Williams going to look it. He gets away from the pressure. Extending the clock. Williams still holding on to it. Backing up. Throwing a prayer. And it is incomplete. The Niners hold on. Unbelievable. We'll see you next Sunday night. Niners, Seahawks. We'll be there. And to add injury to insult, Luford Burden, who's at the game of his life, is down and hurt in the end zone. The medical staff is looking to him as everyone is making handshakes. And we're hoping that Burden is okay. What a game! Oh, now Burden's helped up by the athletic staff. He's just gotten off the field. He's on his knees. The Bears lost this game. Their main concern is with their fallen hero Burden, going out for a career high in receiving yards, 138 in his young career. Williams knew everybody was coming with him as he tried to run for his life. Bryce Huff with the game-ending pressure. He tried to extend the clock, but also as he was backing up, Janae Walker had a chance to be a hero in back-to-back weeks, but it was Yetur Gross-Matos and Bryce Huff who combined for the game-ending pressure. The Niners get the defensive stop they needed as they bent but didn't break. Your final score, San Francisco 42, Chicago 38. This time, the Bears do not get a win in the final 2 minutes of the 4th quarter. Caleb Williams, 25-42, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also ran 5 times for 18 yards. DeAndre Swift, 9 carries, 54 yards, 2 touchdowns. Burden had 8 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown. Colston Loveland, 6 catches, 95 yards and a touchdown. Janae Walker, 2 catches for 30 yards. And there's a pick 6 for TJ Edwards to begin this game. Brock Purdy accounted for 5 total touchdowns. 3 of them passing, 2 of them rushing. Purdy finished 24-33, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a passer rating of 118.6. Christian McCaffrey totaled 181 scrimmage yards, 23 carries, 441 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown, 4 catches, 41 yards. Purdy had 6 carries for 28 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Ricky Pearsall led the way for the Niners in the receiving corps, 5 catches, 85 yards. Jake Tonjes and Jawan Jennings had 2 to 3 touchdown catches, 7 catches, 60 yards, 1 touchdown for Tonjes, 2 catches, 42 yards, 1 touchdown for Jennings. Kyle Juszczyk had the other touchdown catch, 2 catches, 42 yards. 2 catches, 14 yards. Demarcus Robinson had 2 catches for 30 yards. Kendrick Bourne, 1 catch, 25 yards. No sacks for the Niners defense, but they have 5 pass breakups. Tatum McBune, Malik Mustafa, Jair Brown, Alfred Collins, and Jordan Elliott, all with 1 each. The Bears had 6 pass breakups, 2 from Austin Booker on tips on the line. Jawan Johnson had 1. That was on the opening play. TJ Edwards, Jaquan Brisker, and CJ Gardner-Johnson all each had 1. Thanks for tuning in. On to tonight's action. The Niners win 42-38. Setting up for next week. I am Alec Nava. See you then, everyone, and take care. Have a good night.